What's going on, guys? We are here. We are at the state tournament here in Wells Fargo Arena. I am Worm Buffelli. Alongside me, Jimmy Schusler. We are covering for IHSAA's play-by-play today, so I'm super excited you guys are joining us today. Jimmy, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, dude. I'm happy to be down here. Nothing better than the Iowa High School State Tournament 2024.
Absolutely. It's the daddy of them all. So we're just getting mats cleaned up here. We should be getting ready to go here in about 5 minutes or so for the national anthem, but just want to make sure that we are all set, ready to go.
Starting off at 2A. Got some 2A hammers on the board.
So just so you guys know, we are covering first. We got first round here, and then follows right into the round of 16. So some matches are gonna be coming by pretty quickly here.
Learn more about our commitment to Iowa.org.org. At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving one.
Just for those people that are on, this audio will not be showing matches. You can watch that on Flow Wrestling or the Iowa High School Athletic Association. If you want to listen to our audio while watching the the Iowa High School Athletic Association, you can just do a sub page there and watch from there, and then have our commentary as well. Thank you, Josh Randall, for typing that in. Just a heads up here, we are live on YouTube. So if there anything that any particular matches that you guys want me to cover that we're looking for, we will try our best to get those covered as well. But also, if you guys want to let us know where you guys are tuning in from, truly appreciate that as well.
In Iowa, we grow corn. The truth is, corn grows Iowa.
So again, just a few minutes away here. Sit back and enjoy some wrestling today. I know most of you people that are listening, you guys are probably sitting at work right now, so hopefully we're going to make your work day a pretty easy day for you.
Or at least a little more action-packed, right?
Yeah, as long as you guys aren't screaming in your guys' cubicles, I think your bosses will be okay. Jimmy, you just told me before, man, being down here just gave you some goosebumps. You were a 4-time qualifier, right?
4-time qualifier, 1-time place winner. Yeah, there's nothing like the state tournament. It's where hopes and dreams are made.
Yeah, I mean, there's 24-man brackets, 48 chances to win a state title starts here in about 5 minutes. And I tell you what, man, you can't get any more exciting than this, man. I mean, first round especially, you see these kids that are, especially 106 pounds. You got a lot of freshmen in this bracket. They're trying to put their stamp on that quest to win that illustrious 4th state title. We got 2 guys going for the 4 state titles this year. Max Magania out of Waterloo East, and we also got Carter Freeman out of Waukee Northwest. Both those guys will be in the afternoon session. But Class 2A, we got a bunch of freshmen here that are trying to make names for themselves.
So yeah, that's one thing, right? It's just one tournament at a time, one match at a time. I'm sure not a ton of these kids are looking for that, but you know that they got that written down on their goal sheets.
So we're just about to get started here. We got national anthem coming up here in about a couple minutes here, and then once that starts, we'll go mute, and then we'll go live again. Again, thank you guys so much. We got looks like first, one of the first matches we want to talk about, Garrett Pumphrey from Eddiesville-Blakesburg. That is one of our matches that we were planning on covering here. So once we find that mat, we'll make sure that we cover that for you guys coming out of Eddiesville-Blakesburg. We got a lot of Eddiesville-Blakesburg fans right now chiming in. Gotta love EBF.
Strong fan base down there in Eddyville.
Yep.
Not much to do down there other than wrestle in the winter.
Absolutely. Farming and wrestling, that's what they know for best.
No, I'm just excited to be here. Worm, thanks for having me down, and shout out to IA Wrestle for the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. I mean, when I got the opportunity, I knew I had to call the OG Boar in, man. I had to bring in the dog.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we're going national anthem here, so we're going to hit mute here, and we'll be right back, all right? All right, we're back. We are just about to get underway. Again, IHSAA is live from the Iowa State Tournament thanks to our friends Quint Cities Restoration out of Davenport. We appreciate their sponsorship. Just to go through a couple of first-round matches that we're going to be keeping an eye on. 106 pounds, we got number 5 ranked Colt Boyles out of Burlington, Notre Dame versus Garrett Pumphrey out of Eddiesville, Blakesburg. This is going to be an interesting one. Pumphrey's had a great year. He hasn't really beat anyone in the bracket, but Boyles is being an 11 seed after having a great sophomore season, which we had him ranked at 5. So we'll see where they meet up at the end of the day on Wednesday. So now we're getting ready to wrestle here, boys. Whistle's about to blow. We're gonna go right down on mat. We're gonna go down mat 6. We're gonna cover Colt Boyles and Gary Kutch. Colt Boyles out of Notre Dame. Kutch out of Benton Community.
Yeah, we're underway. 2024.
Right off the gate, Colt gets in on a takedown, gets the 2 there. So Boyles is up 2-0 right now for Burlington Notre Dame. Solid program out of Southern Iowa.
Boyles didn't waste any time there. He got right after it.
Went
got
right
a takedown right on the edge of the mat.
Yep. Goes into a sit. Has a nice power. He's going to start running a half here.
Looks like good pressure on top. He's on his
he's
toes.
Looking for
he's running a
big,
half on
big
the right
power
side.
half here. He's going to work right away.
He's got near fall.
You know, this was that head scratcher. There's that first round fall. That sets up our match with Eddyville Blakesburg here coming up here. Again, Boyles ranked 5, so putting him in a first round match is kind of a head scratcher. But moving on.
Waste no time there. Colt Boyles from Burlington, Notre Dame with the first period fall.
All right, I'm going to move over quick down to mat 5. We got Lucas Peters out of West Delaware versus Brody Black out of Glenwood, both freshmen. Lucas Peters, kind of a youth phenom, real low weight, so coming in with a 20-20 record, but this kid's tough, man. He's just a little undersized right now, what you're going to have at 106 pounds, guys that are, still haven't hit 100 pounds yet, so... But he is as technical as they come. Don't let that record fool you, especially with West Delaware's schedule. Peters in on a shot. Looks like go behind here for
Brody Black.
Takedown here on Peters. Black, a freshman. Oh, going right into a cradle. Peters on his back. Brody Black's not wasting much time. 30-11 record right now as a freshman.
Now wrestling on mat number 1, Jaden Morrow, walk-on, Jacob Nelson, Columbus WMU. Morrow, walk-on, Nelson, Columbus WMU.
And you love to see a kid that's maybe a little underdeveloped and a little undersized still going out there and putting it all on the line. He didn't waste any time, Lucas Peters, but now he's in a little bit of a precarious situation fighting off his back. Brody Black's got a tight cradle on the edge.
45 seconds left here in the first in that mat. Got 3 near falls, so score right now 5-0 Black.
Peters fought off his back, got that lock broken on the cradle, and now he's trying to work up and get back to his base and get a point on the board. A lot of action here in this first round, 106-pounders. I love watching these little guys roll around and scrap.
Down there on mat 8, we got your alma mater from North Polk wrestling.
Yeah, Charlie Bowman. He's a stud. He's a Seabolt kid, I know. And that was another kid that he's kind of growing into the weight a little bit as a sophomore. As a freshman last year, he was a little undersized. I think he missed out on the state tournament last year. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, yeah, 1 year of developing and maturing for these high school kids can do a lot for him. And he's off to a good start. He's got a 2-0 lead.
Got a 4-0 lead here.
4-0 with another takedown. He's got a bottom leg Turk.
And he's wrestling Owen Korsmo out of Crestwood.
Both sophomores with similar records. Back on mat 5. Second period here for Peters and Black.
Peters choosing down here, start second.
Black still has that 5-0 lead.
Down on 3, we got PCM. We got some action going on in mat 3. We got a pin coming in we got cradle locked up here from Caliber Fry. Scored 2-0. Got himself a set of back points. Looks like he's readjusting here for the fall. Do apologize. We are going back and forth here, but there's just Pin City right now. Big pin out of there for
Caliber for High, the sophomore out of Prairie City, Monroe.
just down the road here.
He's jumping up and down. He's excited. And you can hear those PCM folks cheering for him, too. They were right over the mat.
Tell you what, man, the one thing I love about the state tournament, entire town's shut down for this thing. Even if it's just for 1 or 2 matches, man, they'll come down in drones, and I love it.
Yeah, there's really nothing like it. You know, you get 1 or 2 kids that qualify from a small town, it seems like the whole town's showing up to support those boys. And that's just wrestling, right? It's a small community, and it's a big family, all in one.
Back on mat 5. Minute 24 left here. Peters down still 5-0 over Brody Black. Black's doing a really good job controlling the center, doing a good job fakes. Glenwood coached by Tucker Weber. Peters in on a shot, big sprawl out of Black.
The wrestling through a position here. No points yet. It's good action from both of them. Good shot by Peters and good defense by Black.
Tell you what, man, I mean, this is a tournament too, like, you know, you might be down 6-0, but there's plenty of magic in this arena. You know, you can pull something off big and big things can happen.
Yeah, that's why you keep wrestling, Back to mat 8. Charlie Bowman in on another shot, trying to come head up the center and out the back door. He's got a 4-0 lead still over Owen Corsmo from Crestwood.
Potential danger there. Sorry, I got to readjust. I was just doing college commentary last week, so that danger rule still kind of sits in my head. There's no danger in high school.
And 2-point takedown still, huh?
Yep. Which, being a college coach, what's your thoughts on the 3-point takedown in college?
It took some time getting used to that, but I do like it. I think it favors the guy that goes out there and wants to score, right? And then it kind of widens the gap from maybe some guys that shouldn't be as close to you points-wise. You can get out ahead of guys and earn those major decisions and those technical superiority match points for your team a little quicker. So, yeah, we're getting used to it still, but 3 it is in college for the takedown. It looks like Brody Black extended his lead here a little bit. He's up 8-0 on mat 5 going into the 3rd period.
Got the legs in. Or no, Peters got the legs in.
Peters on top. Black chose down. Peters got the double boots in. Riding tough for an undersized 106-pounder.
Yeah, again, just one of those things, like, I think once he comes to the weight, people are going to be like, who is this kid? But he's already come down as a freshman, making a name for himself. I mean, I saw when I saw his district pairing, he was 18-20. I was like, don't overlook that overlook that kid at all. I was talking to a couple people around the area that were going to that district. I'm like, do not overlook that kid, man. And he punched his way through a stout district. So.
Still riding tough on top. He's a little high right now. Black trying to come out the back door. Peters has got to get his hips back a little bit, get under those elbows. And it looks like he's doing just that. Mat 5 still no score in the 3rd period. Brody Black of Glenwood, the freshman, leading 8-0. Got a comfortable lead on bottom. Lucas Peters, the freshman out of West Delaware, Manchester, working hard on top. And he earns a stalling call. Stalling on Black. But down 8-0, he's got to do something here. He's got 33 seconds left to make it happen.
And that's just it. I mean, if you're Black, I mean, you're kind of, you can burn that stall call, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Getting up 8-0, but at the same time, you got to create a little action on bottom. If Peters is gonna put the legs in and just try turning you.
They'll go stalemate and new start here with 13 seconds left.
Over on mat 2, Jace Curry out of Sergeant Bluff Luton is up 10-0 over Cale Braff of South Tama County. Jace Curry, another name that kind of been around for a while, UC and in high school, so he's getting to work right away in that first round as well. Looks like he's running a bar here. Looks like Brody Black will take the win over Lucas Peters 8-0.
Now wrestling on mat number 2 at 120.
Down on
Isaac Wilson, Algona, Triton Thomas, Centerville.
Down on mat 1, we got Jaden Mara and Jacob Nelson. Jaden Mara out of walk-on, up four over Jacob Nelson out of Columbus West.
The walk-on junior with the record of 20-5. Nelson out of Columbus. Junior as well with the record of 40-9. Mara leading 4-0 going into the... Well, actually, that's the match there. Mara gets the W from walk-on. And he had a ways to travel.
Yeah, about probably a 3-4 hour drive down here.
Way up in the northeast corner of the state. Beautiful area of the state.
All right, going down to mat 6. We got Tyler Frolick out of Harlan Community, and we got Elijah Wiltie. They're about to start off here on mat 8.
The senior versus the junior.
Now up on mat number 1 at 120.
Starting off here on mat 6, got a takedown right out the gate.
The senior from Harlan, Titan Frolich. And he's working a half right on the edge of the mat, right in front of the scorer's table. Hard crossface. And he's trying to lock up a crossface cradle. Switches off to a butcher. Really needs to try and break the hips, and he looks like he might get back point. He's getting back points right in front of the scorer's table. He's got a butcher. He adjusts a little bit.
Settling in here.
Elijah Whitty fighting off his back. But that looks tight. It does look tight.
There's the fall. Titan Frolic with a first period pin.
The senior from Harlan wasting no time in the first round here at the 2024 Iowa High School State Wrestling Tournament. And he's fired up. He's excited. We're moving right along here.
So again, we are live every session. Make sure you guys, follow us here on our YouTube page for IA Wrestle. And again, you guys are doing a great job so far, commenting, asking, cover matches. We will do our best to get to those matches as the tournament progresses. All right, we're going to move over to mat 3 real quick, where we got Caden Jones out of the Port City Union up 4-3 here in the third period over Owen Mayo out of Humboldt. Humboldt's got a nice little team they brought down the state tournament. Excited to see those guys.
Yeah, fifth at the duels week or two ago, and now we'll see what they can do down here at the traditional tournament.
Now wrestling on mat number 1 at 126.
Caden Jones off to a 4-3 lead. Minute left in the third period.
Now up 6-3 here. Said about a minute left. LaPorte City Union, top 3 team coming into this tournament. They got some hammers. This is one of those things, that 2A race is going to be tight, I think, between Union, Osage, and I apologize for that third team, but Osage bringing in some hammers. They didn't have the results they wanted at the state duels. Shout out to my buddy Joe Taylor. Thank you for signing in, man. I appreciate you. I'll see you down here later this week.
So Mayall with the escape. He's got 40 seconds here to make something happen against the LaPorte City sophomore, Caden Jones. Jones still winning 6-4. Mayall with the shot. Jones with the good sprawl. Front headlock position right in the center of the mat. Mayall's got to try and clear out of that if he can, create a little more action. They go stalemate and back to the center. 19 seconds left. And one final attempt, and looks like LaPorte City's Caden Jones is going to hold on for the 6-4 decision, and he'll advance.
Man, this first round is starting to fly. I mean, but this is also, it's that round of, guys that are, had to get drawn, or, if you're not a top 8 seed, you have a first round match. So a couple of these guys, lesser records, they're getting weeded out pretty quick, it looks like.
Yeah, you got to make the most of the opportunity, right? You make it to the tournament, and maybe you've got a little bit of a 500 record, or you've had a few losses on the year. You got to figure out how to make it happen and how to get to your offense and maybe knock off a guy that you shouldn't beat. And that's kind of what this is all about, right?
Yeah, coming up here on mat 1, we got Levi Dirks out of Carroll, and we also got Steele Dirks out of Davenport Assumption. 2 different name spellings, but it's pronounced the same way, so that's always interesting. I always do love looking at these names. There's some names down here that are always pretty interesting to talk about.
Dirks and Dirks.
Probably the coolest name right now in the state is Class 1A is Rowdy Neighbor.
Rowdy Neighbor.
That's just an awesome name. Every time I've heard that kid coming up, I was like, man.
That's a wrestling name.
Not as good as Matt Burns, of course.
Not to be outdone by the dirty dog, Matt Burns. Urbandale, Iowa Central to Grandview.
And then we got 3A, we got Mitchell Pins. His brother Joe Pins, who just had the Tech Fall record at Wartburg. So when I've been talking to him, I call him Joey Tech Falls. Steele Dirks right now out of Assumption up 2-0 over Levi Dirks out of Carroll.
They're putting a tough ride on. Levi Dirks, the Carroll prep, trying to build his base. Steele Dirks, working a near side wrist, left side, putting a lot of pressure on his opponent.
While I'm here real quick, I do want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife. She just said, proud of you. So happy Valentine's Day, dear. Thanks for tuning in. Let me have this opportunity to do this. I can't thank you enough.
Love it.
You guys get a chance, like that comment. Give Kylie Buffelli a little love this morning. Dirk still up 2-0. Got a real solid ride in.
Yeah, and that's one thing about these pigtail matches. We're seeing a lot of guys not hold back. They're just going out there and letting it fly. A lot of these guys, like you said, they didn't get seeded, so they're earning their way into the bracket. What better way to earn your way in than just to go out there and have fun and let it fly?
Dirk's here looking for a fall.
There's been a lot of good action here in the early parts of this first round, Class 2A.
End of the first here. We got 3 swipes here for Dirks.
And that's Steele Dirks. He's going to take a 5-0 lead going into the second period. And Levi Dirks is going to get his choice. He goes down right away. Red man chooses down.
Steel Dirks actually chose bottom there.
Oop, my mistake.
All good. We're all good. There's the escape for Dirks.
And good action there, too. Hits a quick fake and then a double, switches off to a single leg and a quick finish.
He's just piling on points here right now in the second period. About 36 seconds left, or a minute 35 left here in the second. Up 7-0 right now.
And that's what you got to do, right? When you get ahead, you don't want to shut down. You want to just keep building your lead, get to your offense, widen the gap. That's going to ensure your place in the next round.
We're going to move to mat 4 real quick. I know some people wanted to hear from Jordan Young out of Charles City. He's currently up 4-1 right now to start the second period. Jordan Young chooses bottom. Charles City has brought down, I believe, 4 to the tournament. You know, they've had I know they've had a rough year with numbers, but glad to see that they brought some guys down to the tournament. They got a couple freshmen that are stout, so excited to see what they can do down here. Tell you what, man, if anything, these freshmen that are coming in, they are not timid down here. Most of these kids grew up in this arena going to the AAU state tournament.
Hammers.
So the idea of being shell-shocked down here isn't a thing anymore. So a lot of these kids are experienced, seasoned guys. They know how to wrestle.
Well, and that's one thing. You go to these youth tournaments or these junior high tournaments, and the wrestling has just gotten so much better.
Big old takedown there for Jordan Young.
Picks him up, puts him down. Nice double leg.
Big
Finishes
lift.
through the guy. Big lift and puts him down. For the senior out of Charles City. 33-5 record. And he's going to work on top. He's got a left side bar. Kind of switching off to a chicken wing. That's good pressure on top for Jordan Young. Hoffman trying to hip over, nothing doing. It's good action from both guys. The bottom guy's trying to work. The top guy's been getting to a lot of different holds. He's got that chicken wing. He's about to get back points here. That's Jordan Young out of Charles City, the senior. He's real close. Not quite to that 45.
There it is.
There it's tight.
There it's tight. Needs to put his chin in that shoulder there, bury it.
Hard bridge from Hoffman.
Short time left here.
Short time on the clock. He's working near fall. Doesn't get the pin, but gets another 3 back points.
So he's up 10-1 here going into the third period. Looks like Hoffman's looked like he was in a little bit of pain there, but thought there might be some injury time. Looks like there's not.
Both back to their feet, shaking it off. You got to be tough in this sport, Worm.
Especially down here, man. I don't care how hurt you are. You got to go out on your shield, man. So Steel Dirks picks up the win there on mat 1. That lines him up with a match with Cade Bloom here in the first round. That should be exciting. That's one of our matches that we're going to be watching here after this first round in the round of 16.
Back to mat 4. Young with another takedown. Oh, and a little shove out of bounds. No call from the refs. That's just good hard wrestling there. Young leading 12-1. The third period here, about a minute 30 to go. The senior from Charles City.
Tell you what, I'm digging those Charles City singlets, man.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
If you guys know anything about me, which most of you guys don't, I'm a big gear guy. So cool singlets, cool shoes. I'll talk about them openly. So.
And again, thank you to everyone tuning in. It wouldn't be as fun if we didn't have these comments. Shout out to Luke Vance, the boar from Sheldall, tuning in, probably at his office. It's a little more fun when you're at work and you get to listen to wrestling, right?
Absolutely. Get to tune in, get to sit there and listen. I know some of you guys are out there, that don't have Flow Wrestling. We appreciate you guys listening to us. Looks like Young here on another takedown. Scored 12-2 here, 1 minute left. All he's got to do is probably roll through, get out the back door.
He's swimming to the head, trying to get the half, going straight for near fall. He's got that bottom leg hooked.
Going for backs again.
Hoffman fighting hard. And that's one thing you like
to see,
too.
They gave him 2 back points on that one.
Even if you're outmanned or if you're down on the scoreboard.
Young's going for a Merkle here real quick. I don't think he's going to get it. He's not real tight up on it.
You like to see these guys compete, and you like to see them fight for every point.
And
Hoffman, just as we say that,
slips
gets a reversal.
Slips out of that Merkle. I knew that Merkle wasn't really that tight, and so he got his hips through there. Ooh, chucks a big old crossface there for one for good measure.
A couple hard cross faces, maybe frustration, maybe trying to score. Down 16-4.
Now 17-4 with that.
And they are going to give him 1 point for the hard cross face. So Jordan Young out of Charles City with the commanding lead, 16-4. And it looks like that's going to do it for this one. Jordan Young, Charles City, he's moving on to the round of 16. The senior.
Solid win for the senior. So Jordan Young will end up with Amari Chavez out of South Tama County, 31-4 here in the round of 16.
Down on mat 8, another stud from my alma mater, Jacob Meckley out of North Polk Alleman, the senior, 26-6. He's got Carter Liston, the junior. He's got a good lead, 7-1. 20 seconds left in the second period. Meckley needs to get his legs back there. Liston up on a single leg. He's got it in the air. He's got to get his head up. He tries to trip. And they got out of bounds. New start.
Now on mat number 2, 132. Jason Cochran, intercept. Carter Saitamo, Charles City.
Mat 8 back to the center. New start. Carter Liston controlling the mat. And nothing doing going into the second period.
Over on mat 2, we got a freshman out of Charles City, Carter Catchham.
That's a tough one to pronounce.
It is a tough one. If anyone can send me the breakdown of that name, I'd appreciate it. But he's a freshman. He's tough. 5-0 right now.
Going against the senior, Kason Cochran out of Winterset.
I saw this kid down at the Anamosa tournament this past couple weeks ago, and kind of shocked at how good he was. And I mean, then all of a sudden I saw he was a freshman. That even made things even more interesting. So he's up 5-0 here, a minute left here in the first.
Now wrestling on mat number 6 at 132, Jackson Lundgren, North Fayette Valley, Briggs Collins.
Yeah, and like you said, these freshmen these days, a lot of them just have no fear. They're coming out here to prove themselves, and they're wasting no time doing it.
Exactly like I said. These kids, they're year-long wrestlers now. A lot of these kids are. They're training at clubs. They're competing in Fargo or the freestyle scene, trying to make the Fargo team. So a lot of these guys are experienced wrestlers.
Year-round wrestlers.
Yep.
That's what it takes.
In on the high crotch here right away. Goes to a sit. There's another takedown there for the Charles City freshman. He's up 7-1 here at the end of the first, really just putting it on.
And working our way through this first round here. We got a couple 126ers out there, but 132-pound wrestlers are on the mat right now, and a 138-pounder. So we're moving right along.
So I believe the pronunciation is Seth Hamill for Carter Seth Hamill. I believe that's what.
Some silent.
There's a lot of silent letters in that.
A lot of silent letters there at the beginning.
It's like yogging.
And Carter Hamill, regardless of the name pronunciation, he's off to a good start here. 7-1 lead. Starting the second period, I believe. And cuts the Winterset senior They're back on their feet. Hamill digging an underhook on the left side. Takes a shot out of bounds. Fresh start. Good hard snaps from Hamill. Half shot from Winterset's senior, Kason Cochran. Some good fakes from both guys. Good action. Elbow pass from Cochran, nothing doing. Another underhook on the left side there for Hamill.
Still a lot of it's high pace still in this match. Cochran still coming forward, still trying to get things moving here for him.
Down 7-2 halfway through the second period. Still a lot of time to make up those points. The freshman doing everything he can to prevent that.
Another big takedown there. Now it's putting the score 9-2 here. 45 seconds left here in the second.
That was good action. He faked a high crotch to the right side and went underhook left side and scored an easy single leg takedown. And he's putting a good right on now. He's got that near ankle hooked.
Now looking for a cradle. Still got to take some time to adjust, but now he's looking for back points here.
And he's getting back points.
Might have to sit and readjust.
He's getting swipes.
Looking in the Charles City corner, one of my wife's cousins, Jacob, is in the corner there for Charles City. He's one of their youth coaches there.
Down on mat 8. Jacob Meckley of North Polk getting the 9-3 win. Good job, Jacob.
Shout out to Matt McGuire with the first joke of the day. Do what lights up a wrestling ring? A match. The kid is a classic one-liner joke there, so I appreciate that coming out of Cascade, Iowa, my hometown. We'll be seeing them tonight in Class 1A. Their lone representative, Brock Morris. Just some good wrestling so far already, man. I mean,
good wrestling, good names.
Action
Down on mat 8, we got Remington Fry.
That's awesome.
Kale Nelson, both seniors, trying to make their way to the podium.
Remington Fry down 2-0 over against Kale Nelson out of Carroll. Back to mat 2. Seth Ham is really putting on him at this point, up 15-2 here in the third period. 15-3. Goes for the optional start.
Over on mat 3.
Another takedown there.
Straight to his back, too.
With a set of back points. That's enough for, I believe that's enough for a tech fall there. Yep, there's your tech fall. Freshman Seth Hamill coming off the first round tech fall. He's going in the round of 16. Solid win for the freshman. This kid's put together too as a freshman.
And then over on mat 5, we just had a fall. It was a close match, 8-6. And it looks like Jaden Bucknell, the sophomore from New Hartford, Twin Valley.
New Hampton, Turkey Valley.
New Hampton, Turkey Valley. Close match, but he gets the fall over the senior.
Oh, we got a big throw here on 6. 3 near fall.
Right at the end of the period, it looks like.
Mat 6, that's Briggs Collins out of West Liberty against Jackson Lundgren out of North Fayette Valley. 8-3 there, 8-3 there for
after the throw and the near fall.
Here's a name that I saw this past week coming up on mat 5, Brady Beers. That kid's going to come into his own in hopefully in about 6 years.
Versus Deacon Sorensen, the senior out of Davis County down in southern Iowa. Senior holding a 44-4 record. Brady Beers, the junior out of Humboldt, 28-18. And action is underway for those two.
And then over on mat 1, we got Jax Miller and Tate German out of North Fayette Valley. Jax Miller coming off a big upset win over number 4 ranked Jaron Gilly out of Wahlert at Districts, but somehow he still managed to have to get drawn into the first round here. But senior, I believe he had like 10 losses on the year. But you look at West Delaware's schedule, man. Those 10 wins or those 10 losses could be from high level competition. They wrestle a pretty stout tournament schedule. They do the Battle of Waterloo, they do the Benton tournament. So a lot of those losses could be to high caliber guys. So to see him get that win over Gilly on Saturday, you don't throw his name out of this tournament by any means.
And he's off to a good start. He's up 2-0 against German out of North Fayette Valley. German with an escape, and they're both back on their feet. Quick low single attempt there.
Down on mat 4, we got Red Oak. If you guys have ever seen Red Oak's coach, dude always is wearing the tiger stripe pants down state tournament with some cowboy boots. He's been doing that for about 12 years now, and I tell you what, in my opinion, he's the only guy that's allowed to do it.
Look good, feel good, coach good, right?
Yep. However, the Red Oak is down 6-1 right now against Will Larson out of Decorah, Kyler Sandholm out of Red Oak. Looks like Jax Miller gets another takedown here, up 4-1 here in the minute left here in the first. All right, we are going to be looks like we got a request to cover Alex Saxton out of Woodward Granger. Looks like in the start of the second period, you're still scoreless down on mat 3. Score 1-0. Looks like Van Wy is in on a takedown right away. Answers that back. Now up 3-0. Dalton Van Wy out of Sergeant Bluff Luton.
3-0 lead over Alex Saxton from Woodward Granger. Both seniors.
Got a request for North Polk Comets. Ben Bryant.
Comets, baby. Yeah, North Polk. That's one thing. They actually qualified more athletes this year than they have in school history. So shout out to those guys. They're doing something right over there in Alleman. And they just have a deep coaching staff, a lot of good wrestlers, and they've developed those kids too over the last 3-4 years. I know they have a big senior class. I think they have 8 seniors. So maybe a little bit of a rebuilding year next year, but excited to see the numbers they brought down to this tournament.
Looks like Van Wy is looking for the fall here, running the bars. Wow, over here on mat 4, Red Oak coming back here, 6-6 here in the second period.
And Alex Saxton of Woodward, he's to his feet, looking for an escape. Van White return, and still riding tough on top.
On mat 8 at 150, Cole Hoyer, Sioux Center, Jax Jensen, Winterset. Hoyer, Jensen.
Looks like Larson with the reversal here, 8-6 over Sandholm out of Red Oak. Dalton Van Wy from Sergeant Bluff Luton with big back points coming here.
Oh, but Woodward comes out of it.
Saxton
with the reversal, but not after 3 back points for Van White. Score 6-2 now on mat 3.
Looks like 5-2 here real quick. Looks like we got some blood time going on here.
5-2, my correction.
Then Red Oak, again, another reversal. Just reverse city down here on this mat. Tell you what, man. I mean, I might be a little biased for Red Oak. Tegan was a former roommate of mine in college, but what he's done in that program over the last 10 years has been nothing but extraordinary. He had a state champion last year in Dawson Bond, had a couple state finalists in his helm. He's really took a program that was non-existent to all of a sudden being one of the more respectable ones in the country. And we got in state. We got some back points coming here, possibly. Nope.
These guys are getting after it though. 8-8.
8-8 here going into the third period.
The tiger paw on the back of the Red Oak singlet.
Tiger Legacy is their motto this year.
And that's what it's about, right? The state tournament, creating your legacy.
I believe he is a sophomore as well.
So he's got a couple years left.
No, he's a junior, 35-12. In on the shot, though.
On mat 7.
Still 5-2 here on mat 3 for Dalton Van Wy and Alex Saxon out of Woodward Granger.
Logan Bold, North Fayette Valley.
Back to mat 3, Saxton and Van White. In the third period now, score 5-2 in favor of Sergeant Bluff Luton's Dalton Van White. Both on their feet. And it looks like Saxton of Woodward Granger is trying to push the pace. Sergeant Bluff's in on a shot, sits him to his butt.
Brody, wait. Looks like Brody Beards with the upset there.
Down 12-8.
Down 12-8 with the fall.
Gets the fall late in the third period.
That's what it's about, baby. That's what it's about.
Anything can happen.
You got to wrestle full 6 minutes down here, man. Can't take anything for granted. Remember having an athlete who was wrestling number 1 ranked kid in state undefeated. He was down 14-0. Guy was going in on a takedown to finish it off, and he hits a cow catcher and sticks him in the first round.
And that's what we love about our sport, right?
Absolutely.
You love it and you hate it.
Looks like we got the fall. Red Oak with the fall. Kyler Sandholm with the fall there. Wait, that was a scrappy match, man. I mean,
yeah, those guys were getting after it.
Down 6-1, rallies back, gets the fall. Good win.
And your heart goes out to these kids that, you know, maybe their dreams are crushed a little bit, but you're equally as happy for the guy that got the fall.
On mat 6 at 150, Hewitt Breidiger, PCM Monroe, Colin Henry, Decorah. On mat 6, 150, Breidiger, Henry. On mat 4,
Jax Miller back over here on mat 1, putting on 11-4 win or 11-4 right now. About 40 seconds left here in the first.
144, Folkers Ramirez.
He's been on this kid's legs the entire tournament or this entire match. Oh, going for a lat drop, nothing there. Miller sitting in the front head position here. Was really good mat awareness there, rolling through that position. Ooh, we got big fall over here on 7.
That's Winterset, Jax Jensen out of Winterset on mat 8.
Big old neck wrench.
And he's right there in front of the home crowd. They're getting up on their feet.
They're fired up.
They're fired up. The Winterset faithful are fired up.
Another takedown for Jax Miller, up 13-4 here at the end of the third. Down on mat 6. Colin Henry out of Decorah and Hewitt Breingar out of PCM Monroe. Decorah, another team that brought down a solid look. Looks like every time I looked up here, I've had a different Decorah kid in here. So they brought a decent squad down.
That's 2 seniors on mat 6.
On mat 1 at 144, Brighton Maxwell, Glenwood, Jackson Furkoff, Humboldt. Mat 1.
Down on mat 4, we got Albia Prep, Carter Forkerts. He's working for the fall. He's got a cross-face cradle. And Irving Ramirez from Floyd Valley fighting off his back to referee's position for those two. And there's Carter Forkitz again with the crossface cradle, and he's going to get the pin.
There's the fall.
There's another one right in front of the home crowd, the Albia faithful.
Again, nothing better to do in Southern Iowa but wrestle in the wintertime, baby.
Wrestling and whitetail hunting. They grow bucks down there, and they grow good wrestlers.
On mat 4 at 157, Owen, Flocky, Carroll, Daniel Hyman, Ballard.
Mat 7, we got Easton Wheeler out of Anamosa, up 5-0 over Logan Boehm, North Fayette Valley. I tell you what, man, I was just talking to a couple coaches down on the floor here, and the talk of it was Anamosa's kind of got a resurgence here. I think they brought down 6 state qualifiers, and in years past, they've been down for a while, and all of a sudden, it just takes it literally takes your kids club to start growing, building up love of wrestling in the community, and all of a sudden, boom, get 5 state qualifiers down here.
Yeah, and it seems like statewide, the kids programs are getting more in depth. About anywhere you go, small town or big town, you can find a pretty solid kids program ran by some pretty solid dudes.
And that's just it too. A lot of these guys that are coming back and helping out their hometowns, a lot of these guys either have college wrestling experience or they were high-level high school wrestlers. They're giving back to the sport, and all of a sudden, it's starting to show here.
And it takes everything, right? It takes those youth programs, but it takes, the faculty in the school getting behind these wrestlers. It takes the coaches putting in countless hours, dedicated to their wrestlers, and then boom, 5 or 6 qualifiers.
And that's just it too. You almost have, especially in small towns where basketball can take over real quick or something like that. You almost got to kind of brainwash people and think it's a wrestling town. I got a buddy back home that literally leaves things around with a hashtag wrestling town in a town that's pretty pronounced for basketball. Oh, over here on mat 2, got Bend Community looking for a cradle here.
And that was a close match. Score was 6-6 before the cradle.
And this is in overtime too.
Our first overtime match,
yeah.
I believe.
So here, it looks like he's going to get the fall. Pretty interesting position here with the cradle. He's basically on his knees looking up. He was just holding on for those points. Big overtime win there on mat 2 for Brady Peterson over Leighton Yeager out of East ELC. Easton Wheeler up 8-0 right now for the Raiders out of Anamosa. Just to finish off that match, gets a major decision there for the Raiders.
On mat 2 at 144, Peyton Pilgrim, Assumption Davenport, Kinnick Gears, West Marshall. Mat 2, 144, Pilgrim.
Got another beers coming up here on mat 2. Kinnick Beers out of West Marshall against Peyton Pilgrim out of Davenport Assumption.
Jax Shackleton, NHTV, Spencer Martin, Coconut. Mat 7, 150, Shackleton, Martin.
Mat 6 down there, we got Hewitt Breingar from Prairie City, Monroe. Colin Henry from Decorah. Breingar with a really good sprawl and re-attack right into a near side cradle. He's winning 6-2 before the takedown, and he's trying to run that near side cradle.
Might need to readjust there.
Needs to get his chest back a little bit. Almost going leg cradle there. Needs to get his head in the side and get his chest back a little bit, maybe adjust his lock, and he's doing just that. He's got time here to work. A minute left in the third period. Commanding lead 8-2 for the senior out of Prairie City, Monroe, Hewitt Breingar.
At 157, Brody Hanson, Decorah, Holton Palmer, walk on. Mat 8, 157, Hanson, Palmer.
Over on mat 1, we've got
You called it. He's going leg cradle here. Down on 6.
Prairie City's Brian Guard with the leg cradle. You don't see that too often.
Especially the state tournament, man.
On mat 5 at 150, Tristan Sitter.
Over on mat 1, we've got Britton Maxwell out of Glenwood. He's a senior going up against the freshman Jackson Kirchhoff from Humboldt. The Humboldt freshman with an 8-2 lead. Currently on bottom in the third period. Maxwell needs to do something here. He's got a little bit of ground to make up.
Over on mat 3, Bodie Thompson out of Elbia down 9-4 against Hayden Schaefer out of Eagle Grove. About 30 seconds left here in this match. Looks like Schaefer is doing a really good job on top.
Albia refusing to go down. Back to the center here. Short time in that match, but anyone's match, it looks like.
Still got 30 seconds here. Whip something together here for Albia. Good escape there.
Gets the escape.
9-5. This is that last go in practice where you got to figure out where's your big point move at.
And that's just it, right? You got to have 1 or 2 takedowns that you can almost score on anyone. And it's got to be a quick hitter sometimes. You can't spend a lot of time rolling around or scrambling on the mat. It's got to be just a touch and go or a couple quick setups and a quick finish. He needs a couple of them here. And to answer a question from a couple of folks tuning in here, this is just the pigtail round. Round of 16 will be directly after this. But yeah, these would be all the kids that don't earn the 1 through 8 seeding, and they're earning their way into the tournament.
They still will get a backside. They still will get a consolation match though, so they're not done out of this tournament. So that is nice. But you know, I do think there is something to be said about seeing this tournament and rewarding guys that have had good years so far. You know, kind of give them, you know, kind of let them, you know, figure out all these other routes before they have to wrestle right away.
Yeah, that is one nice change that they've made to this tournament. I remember back in my day, you'd have some pretty high-level first-round matchups because they didn't seed the tournament. It was
a random draw.
More of a random draw based on what sectional or district you came out of. And, yeah, they're starting to figure it out with the seedings here.
Long goes the day of the code breaking. I remember being a coach, you know, you're sitting out with dinner with all the families, you know, celebrating state qualifiers, but meanwhile, someone's sitting there working a code breaker, trying to figure out who we have first round and
crunching numbers.
Sometimes it comes up right, and then sometimes it comes up wrong. But either way, man, as much as for analytics, it was kind of fun to do, to sit there and kind of guess. And then when brackets came out, all of a sudden it got real. So with the seeding now, it helps, you know, and it also makes teams go after good opponents, you know, especially like in the 3A area. You know, a lot of schools out of Eastern Iowa, where I'm out of, you know, they're going out to the Des Moines area to get common opponents or getting guys that they could possibly see at the state tournament. You know, not only that, just a good way for them to also get a feel for them, but also you pull that win off, all of a sudden, you know, you got a good head-to-head there going into seeding.
You bet. Yeah, regardless of the seeding, though, you still got to win 4 or 5 matches to be on the top of the podium, right?
Yep. And, you know, the nice thing is if you're a seeded guy, all you got to do is win 1 match a day and just keep rolling. Hopefully you keep rolling, feeling fresh every time you wrestle. You don't got to bounce back on that Friday night where you win one on Friday morning and then have to wrestle later in the night. You know, I do like that. You know, some people are telling me that they're not a big fan of it. I like it.
I'm with you on that, partner. Down on mat 2, we got Aiden McRoberts from Sergeant Luton, excuse me. He's a junior, 41-9 record. He's going up against the senior from North Polk Allman, Cole Halupnik. And Halupnik off to an early lead, 2-0. McRoberts with an escape, so 2-1.
While we're covering this, I do want to just give a shout out to Quint City Restorations. Quint City Restorations is a full-service roofing and restoration company serving the central and eastern Iowa area. Their goal is to help keep your home and businesses beautiful, whether it's after a storm or general maintenance. As restoration professionals, they will assist in making the process easy to ensure the proper coverage is received and the project results are in quality finished product. Thank you so much, Quint City Restorations. They are a proud supporter of Iowa AAU Wrestling and St. Ambrose University Wrestling. So thank those guys. They do a great, or they are helping us provide you guys coverage today. Even if it's something simple as just giving them a like on social media or using their business, I'm sure they appreciate the help. Looks like we got
fall down on mat 2. That's Halupnik from North Polk, wasting no time.
The Comet Faithful are getting loud over there, buddy.
They got a pretty good section over there above mat 3 and 1. And you love to see that.
So those big first round matches, man, makes you feel pretty good going in that first, or getting a pin in that first round. Now you don't have to exude a lot of energy after going into, if you're having an overtime match and all of a sudden you got to turn around and wrestle your best match here in the round of 16. So big win there for the Almonds.
On mat 2 at 165, Cyrus Mathis,
Almond, Elkhart, Sheldon, Polk City, Northern Polk County.
Put them on the map.
Put them on the map.
Mathis Howard.
All right, we are going to go to
moving right along here in the first round.
Looks like on mat 7, Jack Shelkin out of New Hampton, 9-4 over Spencer Martin right now from Makokata. Cardinal looks like he's pacing moving forward, trying to get something going here. 5 seconds left. I don't think he's got it in him, but still going out trying to fight that.
Looks like the freshman's going to pick up a W.
Again, these freshmen, man, they ain't scared. Especially, when we get to that 3A session here, you're going to see some freshmen, I think, that are going to put some people on notice. Over on mat 2, we got a fall here. We got a cradle locked up here for Logan Powers out of Roland Story.
He's wrestling Cyrus Mathis from South Tama County.
There's a fall.
And he gets the pin.
With 32 seconds left here in the first period.
Preston, mat 7, 157, Wheeler Staver. Mat 8, 165, Elston Linder, Central DeWitt, Jackson Feuerbach, Solon.
Over here on mat 7, we got Mike and Wheeler out of Anamosa. Had a tough district to get through here to get to the state tournament. He's going to be taking on Milo Staver out of Creston. Creston's returning state duel, or they just won state duels here. They brought a squad down. That's that third team I was talking about, Osage, Creston, and gosh, now I just forgot the second team. Man, come on, Worm.
West Delaware.
West Delaware, I mean, you never count them out of this tournament. The 1A, I think the 1A race, you got El Burnett, you got Bosco, and you got Wilton. All three of those teams, they're looking to get a title here. 3A, it's the dogfight between Southeast Polk and Bettendorf. Fort Dodge will have something to say about it as well.
2A is a little more wide open.
Yeah.
Down on mat 4 right in front of us there, Oliver Potter, Woodward Granger, he's a senior. Close match against Aiden Graves from Tipton, also a senior. 3-2, Graves with the slight advantage going into the third period here.
Tipton's always been one of those schools that sits right on that edge of 1A and 2A. One year they'll be 1A, next year they'll be 2A. Kind of always fluctuates with the class enrollments, but especially around that area, Iowa City, I mean, all those small towns are growing, so they could be in 2A for a while. On mat 7, Miles Staver with the first takedown, scored 2-1 here, getting close to the end of the first period.
And over on mat 6, again down right in front of us, Kason Miller of Fairfield with commanding lead 11-0 over Dylan McMorrin out of West Marshall. He's got the boots in. He's putting on a tough ride. Another freshman over on mat 5, Caden Weil, 37-7 record. He's out of West Liberty, Iowa. He's wrestling Gage Bluet from West Lyon, a junior.
On mat 3 at 165.
Bluet is up 4-3 right now on Wiley. I'm assuming, off a bad assumption, Caden Wiley is the son of head coach Jeff Wiley for West Liberty. You know, a freshman with a 37-7 record. That's a pretty solid record to have coming into the state tournament as a freshman.
Probably a proud dad and a proud coach over there.
Also probably nervous as all get out.
Yeah, and that's one thing with coaching, right, is and I've been coaching the last few years at Grandview University, and it's almost more nerve-wracking being at these big tournaments as a coach because you have so little control over your athletes and what they do and how they perform.
Whoa, big roll through for Wiley, causing some scrambling here. No exchange yet, but really just a really good scramble there. He's looking to set through.
Good action for both these guys.
End of the first here, still 4-3.
And on mat 1, we have out of Anamosa, here's one that was requested, Aiden Antonelli. He's a sophomore, 35-11. He's got Chase Ragler out of Carroll, a senior. Ragler from Carroll with a first period takedown. He leads the match 2-0.
Wiley now up 5-4 here on mat 5 out of West Liberty. Storms back with a takedown.
Mat 4 at 165, Tyler Crow, Minneapolis, Tyler Pisney.
And over on mat 1, Antonelli and Ragler. Looks like the Carroll senior chose down to start the second period. He earned a quick escape, and they're back on their feet. It's good action over there for those two. They break action. And we got a blood time on mat 1. Blood time for Carroll.
Big team also to think about in Class 2A as well, Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon doesn't have a whole lot of guys in this first round because a lot of their guys are top or high ranked. So they're going to be coming around in the round of 16. So got to keep all those names, put respect on all their names. I'm still over here on mat 7. Wheeler and Staver. Staver just into another takedown here. Minute 30 left over Wheeler. Up 5-2 on Wheeler. For those are asking, you can watch these matches on Flow Wrestling for $30. You know, I'm a proponent of getting Flow Wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, you know, the content that they have is top notch. They have films, documentaries, technique, good coverage. So, you know, if you're going to spend $30, you might as well spend $30, use it for a month and figure out where you want to go, especially coming into the NCAA tournament here in the next couple weeks. You know, you'll be able to see plenty of content there. So if you're a wrestling fan, you want to watch it, man, hey, just 5 cups of coffee a day. You're fine.
Yeah, and we got to be thankful for Flow Wrestling. They've done a lot for the sport over the last 5 or 10 years. Growing up, we had the Predicament, and shout out to the Predicament. That's where you got all your wrestling news and information. Flow Wrestling, they've done a good job covering all levels of wrestling.
Oh, we got back points coming over here on mat 5. Blue is storming back with back points. Might be looking for the fall here.
Yeah, just when you think the freshman Wiley had it in the bag. I didn't see what happened there, Worm.
It was just kind of, he was on bottom, all of a sudden he just kind of rolled through, and just went kind of hips in and went over-unders on him. Caught him on his back. Minute 30 left here in the third.
Wiley's got to fight off his back here. They're close to the edge, but not anywhere that it's going to make a difference. Looks like he gets an arm through.
Gets his arm through. Now let's see if we can storm back here.
And he's to his feet. So that's 3 back points for Blewett from West Lyon. Wiley still leads 8-6.
Now 10-8 for Blewett right now with a minute left. I mean, this is where you got to bite your mouthpiece and get gritty.
So we had a reversal and back points for Blewett. My mistake. Score now is 10-8 for Gage Blewett out of West Lyon. He leads over Caden Wiley.
At 165, Lance held Albia.
Yeah, and like you said, you got to bite down on the mouth guard a little bit and get tough. A little adversity.
165, held
And it looks like, so our score's updating a little later than the down at the scorers table.
Wiley jumps ahead now, 12-11 with a minute left. Man, this is a fun match to watch. And he's still going for a headlock.
Headlock attempt for Wiley.
I don't know why. It's not really the smartest thing to do right there.
He's got a whizzer and hard. Oh, wow. Good scramble here for both men.
Blewett's got to sink his hips through.
High head usually wins.
They're going stalemate here.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left. The freshman up 12-11.
Maybe one of the more exciting matches here, first round at the 2A 2024 Iowa State tournament.
It looks like West Lyons is going over the corner, questioning what's going on here. Jeff Wiley coming over to make sure that he's hearing everything right. Whoa, over here on mat 1.
Big throw.
Big throw by Antonelli with the fall.
Aiden Antonelli out of Anamosa punches his ticket to the round of 16. He was down 5-0 and a big throw in the third period.
That's just it, man. You gotta, like I said, you gotta have that. You gotta have that one ace up your sleeve that you can drop on a dime if you need to.
And it just takes 1 second of lost focus, right, for one guy or the other guy. Next thing you know, you're looking at a score table or you're looking over at a coach, and you're on your back.
Blewett in on the legs here. 15 seconds left. Wiley looking to cut the corner.
West Lyons coming hard.
He might be going to the well here. Trying to hit,
Throw
going for a throw.
Lat drop.
Nothing there. Looks like
Wiley's going to end up putting him on his back.
With a big win there for the freshman. That was an impressive win there. Like you said, that was one of the more exciting matches of the first round.
175, Mason Allen, Clarion Goldfield Dow's, Kieran Polking, Carroll.
Live and die by the sword, Worm.
Sometimes you got to go for it, man, especially, like you said, we just saw it on mat 1. I mean, if you have the ability, you think that you can drop someone on a dime, there's your opportunity.
Scott, Glenwood, Luke Johnson, Independence. Mat 5, 165, Scott Johnson.
All right, moving over to freshman to watch, though, right now. John Gonzalez out of West Marshall. He just picked up a 16-0 tech fall over Ty Lartenson out of Oskaloosa. Another guy to watch here in this round of 16. Especially
another freshman.
Yep. Another great thing about IHSAA has done a great job with their research. Providing us with quality freshmen to watch. And there are, like I said, there's some dogs in this hunt, and there's always going to be those freshmen that come in and want to make a name for themselves. So, John Gonzalez out of West Marshall, be on the lookout here, coming up in the round of 16.
Harris, Florinda, Leighton Slaymaker, Central DeWitt.
Looks like over here on mat 3, we got a cradle locked up here
Slaymaker.
out of Webster City. Luke Estlund over Casson Doppler out of Columbus Junction. There was a cradle, 2 takedown, 2 back. It's 4-0 here in the first period.
Over on mat 1, Mason Allen from Clarion Goldfield. He's up 7-1. Still in the first period, up 7-1 over Kieran Polking from Carroll, a sophomore. Senior versus sophomore.
Mat 6.
Here comes Mount Vernon, one of Mount Vernon's first wrestlers of the tournament here on mat 6.
Cherokee, Washington, Watson Crobe, Mount Vernon. Mat 6, 175.
Watson Crobe out of Mount Vernon against Logan Alexander out of Cherokee, Washington. Like I said, we haven't seen a whole lot of Mount Vernon Mustangs so far, but a lot of them are sitting top seeds, or sitting seeded, so they won't be coming out until the round of 16.
Good high crouch attempt by Mount Vernon. Good sprawl from his opponent from Cherokee, Washington, Logan Allender.
I tell you what, man, that's a school that a lot of people don't talk nearly as much respect with Mount Vernon. I mean, they are just constantly always a tough team to see in the postseason. If you take down there for Krob out of Mount Vernon, like I was just saying though, like any more days you start seeing when the districts come out and you see Mount Vernon in your district, you kind of have to squint a little bit because man, that's tough. That's a tough team to have. Coach Light has done a great job down there for the last couple decades. Nice to see the fruits of his labor paying off again. He's building. He's got some sophomores that are returning state finalists. Well, here Alexander hitting a roll through with the reversal. Went Peterson, couldn't catch it. Rolls through, gets the reversal. So now it's 2-2 here with about 30 seconds left here in the first.
Down on mat 4, we got Drew Diaz, a sophomore out of Assumption Davenport, versus Cohen Torres, a senior, North Polk Allman. Torres actually signed. He's going to wrestle at Grandview next fall. Exciting stuff for the Comet.
Just keeping that North Polk pipeline.
175. Jane Burkhardt, Fairfield.
Trying to think, the last North Polk guy that they got out of Grandview, he ended up winning a national title, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Long time ago.
Brought home a couple All-American plaques with him.
Long time ago.
They have you leading the parade down North Polk for homecoming every year, don't they?
Right.
Krob going Peterson. Nothing there, though.
We go back-to-back Petersons there on mat 6.
Logan Alexander, though, catching a Turk, though, through it. End of the first. Getting 2 near falls there.
Kind of a little scramble in Mount Vernon. Watson Krob ended up on his back more so than the Cherokee Washington prep. And Allender is going to get 3 swipes. So he's leading 2 swipes, excuse me. He's leading 4-2 going into the second period. And they start neutral down on mat 6. Not a ton of action there between Mount Vernon and Cherokee. Either one of these guys needs to maybe change their level a little bit or move side to side. A lot of front and back going on here. Not a ton of changing the direction. There's one half shot from Watson Krob out of Mount Vernon. Over on mat 7, we've got an overtime match. Albia's Lance Helm, a senior, versus Tyshawn Gillen, a sophomore out of Gilbert. And it's no score in the first overtime, so we'll go top and bottom. in the sudden victory. 6-6 score for the sophomore and the senior. The sophomore from Gilbert on
Got a
top.
fall going on over here on mat 1.
Mason Allen, Kieran Polking. Oh, and Polking, he was down 7-1. He comes back, the sophomore, gets the reversal in the fall in the third period.
Big win there.
The Carroll Orange, they're fired up. They brought some fans.
Over here on 6 still. Logan Alexander still up 6-2 here going into the third period.
On mat 1 at 190.
Down on mat 4, Diaz with an escape in the second period. He leads Torres 1-0.
Torres, the son of St. Ambrose's head coach, John Torres. The Knights are coached by former national champion Sonny Alvarez out of Wartburg.
There you go. Down on 6, Mount Vernon's on their back there. Watson Cobb doing all he can to fight off his back. Logan Allender's going to get the pin, though, the senior from Cherokee, Washington. And he's bouncing up and down. He's fired up.
Over on mat 1, we got Carter Moore out of Fairfield and Cale Burmeister out of Hampton Dumont. Carter Moore. Moore in on a takedown. Burmeister stops it right away. They go to front head position here.
Brian Rydell, Williamsburg. Dylan Monk, Monticello. Mat 6, 190. Rydell.
40 seconds into the first period there for the two seniors out of Fairfield and Hampton Dumont.
On mat 7 at 175.
Good little scramble to start off the match.
Eagle Grove,
Both forehead to forehead.
and HTV.
There's a
At
shot
7,
there.
175. Kreitlow, Wrights.
Shot for Carter Moore out of Fairfield. Nothing doing. Good head hands defense for Burmeister.
Shot there for the Comet on mat 4. Up 3-1 with 1:17 left. Big lift with the takedown. There it goes 5-1 for the Comet.
About a minute left in the third period. He's got a 5-1 lead. That's Cohen Torres for North Polk, the senior. And over on mat 1, they stop the action. Looks like maybe blood time. Nope, just
End of the period here.
end of the period.
On mat 3 at 190.
Another-
Brian Snyder, Centerville. Malachi Roethlisberger.
Down on mat 6, Dylan Monk out of Monticello in on the first takedown. Monk's had a decent year so far this year. The first time qualifying for state as a senior.
Mason Kopp, APGC. Carson Bertrand, Bedford City. Mat 5, 190. Kopp, Bertrand.
Down on mat 4, Diaz with an escape.
190.
Torres with the lead, 5-2.
Brendan Lamford, Sioux Center.
20 seconds left in the third period.
190.
Diaz in on a shot. Cohen sitting in the corner, trying to get his hips up, and he does. He'll score another 2, and he's going straight to the back.
Looking for the fall here. Nice pin for the Comet.
The senior, and that gets the Comet faithful on their feet. I think North Polk's 4 for 4 here in this pigtail round.
Got a little respect on their name there. Down on mat 2, we got Case and Kieran out of Mount Vernon and Brandon Lamfers out of Sioux Center. Another one of those Mustangs that are coming into that first round. Monk from Monticello here on mat 6, still controlling the leg here. No stall calls yet. Good return, good mat return there.
Quentin Polking, Carroll.
About 5 seconds left here in the first.
Mat 4, 190, Polking, Luther.
We got the neon shoes down on mat 5. Looks like Mason Kopp, the freshman, 20-5 record.
Those are bright, man.
Can't miss him. He's wrestling Carson Bertrand out of Webster City, a junior. Down on mat 2, Kason Curran, the Mount Vernon sophomore. He's off to a 2-0 start. Good start for Curran. Monk down on mat 6, still with that 2-0 lead for Monticello. He's a senior, 37-4 record, up against another senior, Brian Rydell, 15-6 record from Williamsburg.
Stalling on Monk. Rydell's got a bar here, looking to run it over.
And probably a good stall call there. Wasn't doing a ton to get back to his base or get to his feet. Rightfully so with the 2-0 lead. Short time here in the third period.
We're starting to get up in these bigger weights, and they just made the announcement that we're going to roll right into the round of 16. So there'll be no break there. They're just going to roll right into it.
On mat 8 at 2:15, Reese Reggie, North Polk, Ledger Nails, Osage.
We got another North Polk comment down on mat 8. Reese Rogge.
Reese Reggie, Ledger Nails.
And I've had the pleasure of wrestling this young man. Strong kid, good parents, and he's actually going to play baseball in college. Dude can throw about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's Reese Rogge out of North Polk. And you love to see those kids that compete in multiple sports, right? A lot of these smaller schools and smaller districts, you about have to do that. You don't have the numbers, whereas a lot of these 3A schools, you almost have to pick one sport that you want to excel in. Yeah, that's one thing I love about these small towns, the 3-4 sport athletes.
They got to keep every sport going, man. I mean, some people are like, oh, you got to pick one, but in those small towns, man, you gotta help out every team you can. As long as it's not basketball.
Yeah, we like basketball players too, don't we? And there's Rogge with a whip over on the edge of the mat. He's going to get 2. Unfortunately, his opponent, Ledger Niels out of Osage, was off the mat, so he didn't get any back points. 2-0 score for Rogge, the senior, 30-5 record.
Already moving in that 215-pound weight class, so we're going to have the heavyweights coming up here shortly. Then, like I said before, we're going to roll right into the round of 16 at 106. Got a headlock here on mat 2.
And that looks tight.
Yep.
That's Mount Vernon again.
Got
Kason Curran.
to get those bonus points where you can here for the team race. There's the fall.
And good job out of Curran switching off to a reverse half. He had that headlock tight and adjusted and switched off to a reverse half, and just those little adjustments gets his opponent flat, and he gets the fall. And he will advance to the round of 16. Kason Curran out of Mount Vernon. Back over to mat 8. Looks like Osage Ledger Niels gets the escape and a takedown of his own. Rogge to his feet and an escape for Rogge. So we're tied at 3 for the big boys, 215-pounders down on mat 8.
Mat 2 at 2:15, Gray Smithburg, Fairfield, Lucas Feuerbach, Solon. Mat 2, 2:15, Smithburg.
Monk here from Monticello still holding a 2-0 lead, but he still has that stall call here at 190.
On mat 7 at 190, Brody Shipler.
Monk's looks like he's got near side cradle locked up. He isn't doing a good job breaking hips. Has abandoned that. Rydell with the escape, making things spicy here with 1:30 left here in the first, or in the third.
Elbow pass, nothing doing there. Both guys passing elbows, trying to get to their attacks. Takedown's going to win it.
Rydell got a body lock going here. Big lift, big return.
Right on the edge of the mat, right in front of his coach's corner.
Monk's not responding. That might have knocked some wind out of him.
Yeah, not an illegal slam, but definitely put him down hard. His head bounced off the mat a little bit there.
Safe return, but I mean it was safe and everything. There's the one there for Rydell picking up 4-2 here.
285 pounders.
If you're Rydell or if you're Monk, you gotta sneak out of bounds here real quick and kind of refresh and re-go. We got looking like we got a fall cooking over here on mat 8.
Reese Rogge with another takedown. He's running a half.
Deep half, plenty of time.
He's getting back points.
Setting up, looks like the ref's in perfect position. There's the fall.
He gets a pin. Another pin for the Comets.
Man, Comets came to play today.
Getting the Comet faithful on their feet again. Down on mat 6, 26 seconds, 4-2 score. The senior Monk working hard on bottom, but Rydell maybe working harder on top.
On mat 8 at 215, Quentin Fuller, Preston, Trevor Deeren, Central Line.
Over here on mat 7, Blake Yeager out of Eddyville Blakesburg up 4-2 right now. 6-2 now here, just to end out the first period.
And over on 5, we got another kid on his back here. It's those neon shoes.
It's really what's making the difference here.
Carson Bertrand, Webster City, and Mason Kopp.
On mat 6 at 215, Brody Van Gregory, Sioux Center, Lucas Koima, Western Christian. Mat 6, 215, Van Gregory, Koima. Mat 1.
Blake Yeager still up 6-3 here, 1:40 left here in the second. We got an overtime match here on. No, we got injury time. Looks like here. It is overtime here on mat 5, but looks like there's a little blood time there. About to go to our first overtime here in the state tournament.
Kopp and Bertrand, 10-10. They're scoring points.
Kopp doing a really good job just trying to control center.
Snap down on the edge of the mat. They're over under right in front of the scorer's table.
See, looks like he's trying to work for a stall call there, trying to push the pace, work the center.
And positioning so important in overtime, right? A lot of these guys are tired.
As the go behind happens, there's the 2 from Bertrand out of Webster City. I was just talking about he's pushing him around for trying to get that stall call, but Bertrand seemed to be smart about it, force him into a go behind.
Snap down, go behind.
A lot of momentum going forward, and all of a sudden a good snap go behind can win a match real quick.
Heavyweights are on the mat.
On mat 5 at 215, Jesse Brower, APGC, Jake Trineri, Clear Lake. Mat 5, 215, Brower.
On mat 4, we got Jackson Van Claren on Makokata in on a big double there.
He's working that arm bar across the back.
Van Claren committed to Loras College next year to wrestle. Turning state qualifier from last year. Now he looks like he's setting up a farmer. Nothing was there yet.
Needs to pull him down to the mat. He lets him go.
I tell you what, the big conversation I've had with both Tony and Lars with IA Wrestle, 215 at 2A has just been wide open this year. I mean, you got guys that, everyone's beating everyone. You know, this is kind of this bracket. There's no one set in stone to be the guy. Van Clearen going cradle big.
Front headlock into a nice ankle pick.
And he held he's got looking for a fall here. There's the fall for Van Clearen. He also this year he's had 5 wins over at one point the number 1 ranked Class 1A 215-pounder Jack Hyland.
5 wins.
Yeah, 5 wins over him this year.
Wow.
At one point Jack was ranked number 1, and you know I've been talking about him all year. Like he's just been in that conversation. Coming up here on mat 4, we got Michael Borman out of Waller Catholic, sporting the Rocky robes. Coach Allen loves to bring the Rocky robes out of the state tournament.
I love the robes.
This Borman kid is an interesting cat. He started out wrestling last year as a sophomore, or no, as a junior. Took 3rd at districts. Then he just won the district tournament. But he's got JT Kelso out of Forest City. Kelso he's got 10 losses on the year, but he's come back and beat every kid that he's lost to this year. So freshman, I would assume, he's got some role in him. But Borman is just an athlete. I believe he's looking to want to play D1 football. Borman's got 2 losses on the year. I got a little bias here. I used to coach at Waller for about 10 years. The head coach is my son's godfather, so got a little
strong ties.
Yep. He's just got big, strong ties here. But Kelso, I'm assuming he's got some pinning power.
And he moves pretty good for a freshman at this weight, in my opinion. It's 0-0. We're early in the match, but both guys holding center well, both guys hand fighting well. And not often you see a freshman 285-pounder that moves like this.
On mat 2 at 285.
So Bowman's going to have his work cut out for him, the junior.
Central Lion George Little Rock, Brooks McFarland, Western Christian.
Borman's got 2 losses on the year. I believe both came to the MVC tournament. Being a 2A school and a 3A conference, you'll have that. You don't see a whole lot of those guys in the postseason.
Lincoln Central, Landon Griffin, Webster City. At 7, 285.
Kelso doing a really good job staying up top. Winner of this match flows right into the 2 seed from Albia, who's 37-0.
Williamsburg, Jordan Allen, Assumption Davenport. That's 6.
Kelso digging underhooks, kind of pushing the smaller Borman around a little bit right now. Borman's going to have to figure out.
He's got to get a leg attack going. He's got a double from all
and
get
there
out.
It was. I don't know if he heard you or not, Worm, but nice double leg attempt. JT Kelso, the freshman out of Forest City, getting his head and hands in the way of that double leg. Good defense for Kelso, the freshman. Back to the center we go. 30 seconds in the first period. Both guys staying right in the middle of the mat. Slide by attempt for Borman, nothing doing. Kelso still just kind of pushing him around. Borman doing a good job circling, keeping his butt to the center.
End of the first here. Kelso looks like he's going to Kelso's deferring. So Borman's choosing down. I think this is where we see where Kelso's coming back and getting these wins. I mean, if you're putting, like I said, I think he's one of those guys that might be real tough on top just in disguise. Borman out real quick,
wow. Good escape. Oh.
There's a false start on the whistle.
So he did get the escape. They stopped the match for a whistle next door on mat 3. So we're back to mat 4 here. 1-0 score for Borman out of Waller, Dubuque Catholic. And Borman doing a good job with his head position, keeping his forehead kind of right in the bottom of the chin of the bigger, heavier Kelso. And that's sometimes what you got to do, right? In these heavyweight bouts, if you're a little bit undersized, positioning is everything.
I don't know if Borman's really undersized. I mean, I think he's all about 240. And, if you look at the kid, I mean, he's built like that crap house that's sitting out back.
He's chiseled. He is chiseled for a heavyweight. Only a junior, too.
Senior.
He
just started wrestling as a junior last year, taking 3rd at the district tournament.
They got him listed on track wrestling as a junior.
Really?
I'm glad we have the Whiz Worm with us.
Stalling on Wallert, which I agree with. I mean, Kelso's really doing a good job pushing the pace here, trying to find his double overs. Just kind of an upstanding hand fight here.
It's pretty self-explanatory, all these smaller weights, what these guys weighed in at. It would be kind of interesting to know what some of these heavyweights weighed in at. We'd know the difference in the weight gap.
Kelso controlling underhooks here.
Senior versus freshman on mat 4.
Mat 8 at 106, Clayton Perot, Mount Vernon, Gavin Knudsen, Decorah. Mat 8, 106, Perot, Knudsen.
Looks like down on mat 8, we got our first round of 16 bout. Like you said, that's Mount Vernon.
Clayton Perot, he is, I believe he's ranked number 2 in the state.
He's got the red ankle band on. He's going against Gavin Knudsen, another freshman out of Decorah. Both those young men are scrapping down on mat 8.
So now we're going to start talking about these first round matches that we wanted to cover. Kelso choosing bottom. Borman, sponge-like on top, really trying to break hips here.
You can see he's on his toes. He's putting a lot of pressure forward, a lot of hip pressure on the freshman Kelso out of Florida City.
Up here on mat 6. Wait.
Anderson McDonald. Mat 3, 285.
Mat 6, we're 4-4 right now.
Borman doing a really good job of riding, still looking to turn. Kelso trying, you can tell he's trying to hit that arm roll.
And side roll.
Maybe that's where, he's avenged those losses there with that go-to there.
Sneaky.
Yes. But remember, Borman still has that stall call, so he has to work twice as hard, I think, on top.
Stay busy.
But I mean, he's got a wrist. He's grinding forward, trying to make something happen here.
Nevada. Brody Black, Glenwood.
Down under a minute on mat 4.
106.
Michael Borman, the senior, putting a tough ride on the freshman Kelso. He's off to the side. He's not really riding parallel. He's working both sides. He's on his toes.
On mat 8, Clayton Perot of Mount Vernon with the first period fall.
And it's actually Kelso that's going to get a stall call, not doing a ton to come up, or he's just being pressured. And it is a good ride from Borman.
Here we go. As we're starting to see more of these matches, heavyweights start dying out.
And it looks like, just as I say that, Borman's going to get a stalling call against him, and that's going to tie the matchup.
So now, if you're Kelso, you got an 11-second sprint here to get one. If you're Borman, you got to ride for 11 seconds here.
And that's something,
He's right.
Some of these matches, it is a little frustrating as an unbiased commentator to see some of these referees, that could have gone either way, I suppose, that call. And now we're going into overtime with 11 seconds left in the match. He calls a stall on a guy that was really doing all he could on top and working really hard to get near fall. Maybe shouldn't have went into overtime this match, but here we are. Borman's got to do something here, and Kelso
from what
equally.
I would say, from what I saw, you could argue, he was hooking the ankle a little bit, but at the same time, I agree with you on that one.
I suppose that's why we're not referees, right?
Exactly.
Over on mat 1, we got Tucker Anderson, the senior.
There's 2 for Borman with the overtime win.
The senior is going to get it done. Both guys look exhausted. That's what you love to see. They're putting their heart out there.
Good first round match there.
Mat 1, we got Tucker Anderson, senior out of North Polk. Brady McDonald, out of Independence. Two seniors going at it at heavyweight here on mat 1. Anderson's another guy I've kind of rolled around with a little bit. He's just a stereotypical big farm boy. He's got that strong grip. He's hard to move.
Got a cradle up here on 3. With the fall, we got Jacques Zoomerin out of Sioux Center with the fall. He was down 2-0. Catches that fall.
That's 7-106, Jordan Ariano.
Down on mat 4, we got Charlie Bowman.
Jesse Jens.
Cale McCabe, sophomore versus sophomore. Bowman, I know, is Seabolt product.
Jens Schrock. Mat 3, 106.
Good movement from Bowman. Good level changes. McCabe, half shot.
2-7. Mat 3, 106. Maynard Osterman.
Another half shot from Bowman. McCabe working a 2-on-1. Good sprawl from Bowman. Both guys creating action down on mat 4. Good low single attempt from Bowman. He comes out the back door and switches off to a double. He gets a 2 takedown.
What grade is Charlie Bowman in again?
He's a sophomore. That's another guy there that had a lot of success as a junior high and elementary wrestler. Little undersized last year as a freshman. And growing into this 106-pound weight class real nice. He's off to a 2-0 lead. 49 seconds in the first period. And his teammate over on mat 1, Tucker Anderson, getting a takedown.
Down here on 6, Uriah Coder out of Nevada up 7-0 over Brody Black.
Mat 5, 113, Bosak Mara.
On 5, we got Braden Boshak out of LaPorte City Union, returning state champ. Over Jaden Mara coming up again over Jaden Mara over walk-on.
Escape for McCabe on mat 4. Shot by McCabe, nothing. And that'll do it for the first period on mat 4. Bowman leading 2-1.
Mat 6, 113, Jason Stevens, Hampton Dumont Cal, John Gonzalez, West Marshall. Mat 6, 113, Stevens, Gonzalez.
Over on 8.
Those guys are getting after it.
I would say Lincoln Schropp going 2-0 right now. Sophomore, returning state qualifier from last year. Gotten to know his brother at Loras College, Bubba Schropp, former state champ for the Raiders. Lincoln's going to be scrappy, dude. He's a sophomore, up 4-1 right now on Jess Jens.
Big lift and return on mat 1 for Tucker Anderson. He's putting a tough ride on here in the third period.
On mat 5 at 120.
Oh, and he's going to get back points. Anderson.
Big back points for the Comets.
He was working the half both sides. He finally got his guy to turn over.
What a first round here for the Comets. Getting bonus points here.
He needs to settle back and get chest to chest. But he looks like he's in a commanding position here. He's getting back points. And that'll do it. Anderson with 15 seconds left in the match.
Right.
Tucker Anderson, the senior.
And right now, your Northport Comets are in first place right now, 16 points. Getting dirty up in here.
You got to love that. A lot of tournament left, but wow. I can imagine Kirk Hesse and Clan. They are more than happy with how these Comets have came out and competed in the first pigtails. And I think bonus points is a big part of that. I know they had 2 maybe 3 pins between the pigtails and this first round here.
Burlington, Notre Dame, Garrett Pumphrey, Eddyville, Blacksburg, Fremont.
Here's one of those matches we were talking about here on Mat 1. Matches to watch. Colt Boyles out of Burlington, Notre Dame, 38-4 versus Garrett Pumphrey out of Eddyville, Blacksburg. Like we said, Pumphrey getting the 6th seed. He's a little bit of a head scratcher. He hasn't really beat anyone in the bracket all season, but then equally as puzzling, Boyles being the 11th seed after, the sophomore season he has. IHSAA's had him ranked 5th all year. So kind of a weird scenario here, but that, you might as well just throw the rankings and the brackets out the dang window. You got to wrestle them first.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't look at the seeding too much. You don't look at the record too much. You're really just focused on what you can control, and that's going out and competing and getting to your offense and wrestling, mistake-free wrestling.
And that's where one thing I really like about what West Delaware does night before they leave for the state tournament. Oh, and just like that,
quick one.
Colt Boyles gets the first period fall. He just decided that, you know what, I'm going to show I belong in this bracket. So
waste no time.
Yeah. So then, but back to, what West Delaware does night before they leave, they all get their brackets handed to them and they all set them on fire. I think that's kind of a cool little ritual they do before they leave.
I like that. I haven't heard that one.
Bubba Schropp here, or not Bubba Schropp, Lincoln Schropp here, looking for back points. I think he got himself some back points. He's up 6-5 right now going into the third. The 3 near fall, 9-5.
Down on mat 4, North Polk at risk of their first loss of the tournament here. Bowman's down 4-2. 20 seconds left for the North Polk Comet. He's got to put 1 or 2, 3 shots together here. He's been taking a lot of one-shot actions and Stevens out of Hampton Dumont. Cale McCabe out of Fairfield has had all the answers of defense. Bowman goes for a headlock. Nothing doing there at the end.
So now Bowman's got to find himself, on the backside. He put some work together there on the backside. Well, that's just it. You take an L in the first round. Hey, you gotta shut that down real quick because you still got another match. You're coming up in about an hour, and it's now you got to win to survive, man. So you got to get this loss out of your head real quick.
Short-term memory.
Yep.
And that's really what separates these guys on the backside, I think. You're heartbroken. You work your whole year to be on the front side of the bracket and top of the podium. Things don't go your way. How are you going to respond? Short-term memory. Get it out of your head and get back to what you do best. So North Polk drops their first match of the tournament. They're actually leading with 16 points here early in the first round.
On mat 7 at 113, Evan Erpenbach, West Lion, Mitchell Smouse, Crestwood Cresco. Mat 7, 113, Erpenbach, Smouse.
Down on mat 5, we've got a good little scramble going. That's Tanner Postian, a freshman, 37-13 record out of Woodward Granger. He's wrestling Christian Ahrens of Creston, a senior, 35-4 record. Ahrens off to a 4-0 lead. Stalemate called. And we're going to the third period. Down on mat 5.
120, Newton Jones.
And down on mat 6, right in front of us, Hampton Dumont's Jason Stevens. He's down 3-2 to John Gonzalez of West Marshall, a freshman. 5-2. Track wrestling a little bit slower than the table officials. Down on mat 1, Austin Hansen out of Esterville, Lincoln Central, a senior. He's got the 9-4 lead over Caden Latch, freshman from Roland Story. Davis County, Emmett Newton with the 2-0 lead over Caden Jones of Union LaPorte City. That's mat 2. Creston's Lane Travis losing 5-0 to Linden Puxaphone, Webster City.
Tice Clarkin, Humboldt.
Mat 4, Jace Curry, Sergeant Bruffs Luton. He's up 2-1 in a close one against Jonah Lunsman of Monticello. Senior versus sophomore there.
Lunds has had himself a nice little career here so far. Coming down the state tournament, I believe this is his second time down here. Over on mat 8, we were covering Lincoln Strop walks away with a 13-5 win. Looks like here on mat 8.
Isaac Wilson, Algona, Gage Spurgeon, Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. Mat 8, 120, Wilson, Spurgeon. Mat 6,
Mat 5 here, just getting underway. Tice Clarkin, a junior out of Humboldt, versus Ty Scorpel out of Columbus.
Just missed a first period fall out of Cale Bernabas out of walk-on. I'm going to date myself here, brother. His dad and I wrestled in high school. So so I'm like, all of a sudden now I got guys that are graduating high school here that I wrestled their dads in high school. Me and him went to a camp together lived in a dorm for about 7 days together and became really good buddies, and glad to see him have some success here. I know he had decent success here last year, and so hopefully, good first round win there for him. Moves him on to day 2. And that's just it. So you win this round here, you're done for the day. Get home, get hydrated, feel good. Hopefully get some weight off if you have to. Wow, Lundsman giving up a takedown there real quick. Making this match 4-2.
126, Peterman, Froelich.
He has Jace Curry from Sergeant Bluff Luton. Curry, another one of those names that, he's been around for a while. Another youth kid that a lot of names came up. So
mat 7, we got West Lions Evan Erpenbach. He's a sophomore, 35-4 against Mitchell Schmass of Crestwood Cresco, junior, 34-2. Schmass out of Crestwood with the early 2-0 lead. 30 seconds in the second period to go. That's on mat 7. They both go out of bounds. Back to the center.
Ty Scorpel, tough kid is getting put on his back right now. Scorpel, a tough kid. I think he came into this tournament seated, and now he's on his back here. About 30 seconds left here in the first.
That's where you got to fight for every inch.
If you're on top 2, man, you got to make sure you put that away. And there's that big first period fall. That's the big upset in the tournament.
Tice Clarkin.
And I was just saying, if in this tournament, man, you got someone on their back, man, you got to pretty much put everything you have into it to make sure he stays on his back.
And back on mat 7, Schmass with his choice in the second period. He gets an escape, so he extends the lead 3-0. 3-0 over Erpenbach of West Lyon.
132, Jaden Bucknell, NHTV.
But Erpenbach in on a single leg on the edge of the mat. Good opportunity to score here.
Mat 5, 126.
Schmass with a good shin whizzer. And they're going to get a stalemate.
Burlington, Notre Dame.
Erpenbach with a good shot, couldn't quite finish on the edge. They're
Yeah.
back to center.
Just looking at this, Scorpel was an 8 seed, 43-4 at Columbus Junction, and they don't wrestle a slouch schedule. So that's a big win there. That's what we love about this. Going back down on mat 4, it looks like Monticello, it was 4-2, but it looks like they wiped that takedown off. I was kind of questioning that because it didn't seem like he had a whole lot of control there. But at the same time, I also thought, like, hey, they stopped him back, so I figured that they might have just gave him 2 and no near fall, but they took the takedown away in general. So this is getting dicey here. Minute 16 left here for Lunsman. I believe his dad and his uncle are in this corner, the Lunsman family. Or there's like 4 Lunsman brothers that all have kids that are around the same age. They're the eldest one being Chase Lunsman, national champ out of Upper Iowa.
The Peacocks.
Yep. He's coming back, or he's got a year left here. He's ranked, I believe, #1 in the nation right now. Tough kid. Gritty as all get out.
Iowa kid, too.
Yes, sir.
You love to see that. Iowa kid staying home and competing at the next level. I am a fan of that. Down on mat 7, it looks like that's going to do it. Mitchell Schmass going to get the 5-0 victory over Evan Eppenbach.
We are rolling here on this round of 16, man.
Goes fast.
Yeah, we're all of a sudden coming up here on.
Head coach from Hampton Dumont to the head table, please. Head coach from Hampton Dumont to the head table.
You always hate hearing that your head coach reporting. That means you just got a team point deducted. It's usually you're getting called to the principal's office there for that one.
Down on mat 5, good action the first 30 seconds in that match. Andon Barrick from Iowa Falls Alden and CJ Davis, Burlington Notre Dame. Davis with a 44-1 record. Barrick with a 32-7 record. Those guys have been rolling around the whole match. And Barrick with the quick takedown is 2-1. Davis an escape.
12 seconds here for Lunsman. Down 3-2. There's a stall call. You can burn that.
He's got to go. He's got to go. Another shot.
And there that goes.
Good sportsmanship there, even though he suffers the loss for Lunsman, the senior out of Monticello. And you know he's disappointed. It's not the result he wants, but
especially coming in as a seated wrestler.
On mat 4 at 120, Carter Spouse, Crestwood Cresco, Gambito Vargas.
Vinny Mayberry out of Glenwood with the first period fall over Jake Hoagie out of Mount Vernon. Vinny Mayberry.
Mat 3, 132.
We've got a close match down on mat 2.
The 2 seed.
Bucknell, a sophomore, is losing by just a point, 4-3 to Elijah Kupka from Benton Community.
Healer. Mat 8, 120, Jason Johnson.
Down on mat 8.
Braden Lowry, West Delaware.
That match just concluded. Gage Spurgeon, Eddyville Blakeburg freshman. He's only got 1 loss on the year. 10-2 decision over Isaac Wilson of Algona.
He's been one of those kids they've been talking about all year too. I mean, I know he's something special. I believe a possible Fargo All-American last year as coming in as an 8th grader or freshman.
And down on mat 6, that's Caden Weber, senior out of Nevada, 28-2 record with a nice throw by.
He'll be going to attending Grandview next year as well, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
It was down between him and Grandview and Loris, and the Vikings end up winning that one.
Loris, that's a program there. Really turned it around the last 5 years, right? They're fun to watch.
Yeah. Always going to be looking for, I know Coach Glosser's coming down here. He's got some guys on his list that he's hoping that we can seal up. We got a big throw here on mat 3. Caden Ditzenbach, 132-pounder. He's top ranked.
Out of Burlington, Notre Dame.
He's fun to watch, man. You know, he came in last year as the 1 seed, got upset in the quarters, and then he's just had a decent little tournament. You know, he's had a good senior year so far. So him coming in as the 1 seed, and he's getting right to work, up 7-0 here with 34 seconds or a minute 30 here left in the starting in the first.
And that'll do it on mat 6. Caden Weber getting the victory over Mac Morgan of Eagle Grove, 10-4. Down on mat 4, we're still tied 0-0. Carter Schmass of Crestwood Cresco versus Gabino Vargas, the senior from Boyden Whole Rock Valley.
On mat 6 at 126, Landon Davis, Eddyville, Blacksburg, Fremont, Tice Hansen, Okoboji.
Down on mat 7, Ryan Bosson, the sophomore, 34-3 record versus Brody Booman from Assumption Davenport. Boston leading early in the second period, 1-0 with an escape.
On mat 5, CJ Davis out of Burlington, Notre Dame with the fall. Davis, the 4 seed, coming in with a 44-1 record. Tell you what, man, Burlington, Notre Dame has it going on, man. They believe they got longtime Columbus Junction coach take over their program a couple years ago, and they haven't really looked back.
Parker, Oskaloosa. Mat 5, 132, Pippin, Parker.
And down on 7, Boston with a takedown. Brody Booman with an escape. Boston leading 3-1. A lot of action on that mat. A lot of back and forth. And they get a new start here. Boston with another shot, and they're going to warn Assumption Davenport, his first stall warning of the match down on mat 7.
We're going to start. We're moving into 138 pounds here coming up quick. Like I said, this round's flying, man. Got injury time here on 3. This kind of looks a little serious here. I'm not seeing a whole lot of movement coming out of there.
Yeah, that's something you never like to see, regardless of who you're cheering for.
Ooh, big throw here on 2. End of the period, but man, he was down 1. He went big and had it. Just ran out of time. And that's a district rematch there.
Young, Charles City,
Bucknell and Kupka.
Yeah.
South Tama County. Mat 1,
Kupka's going to get the win, 5-4.
Man, if Bucknell had about another 2 seconds there, it would have been his match. Coming up here on mat 2, 6 seed Cade Bloom, 2-time state champ out of Rolling Story.
On mat 4 at 126.
Down on mat 6, Eddyville with another kid, Landon Davis, sophomore. He's got an early lead, 2-0 over Tice Hansen of Okoboji.
On mat 2 at 132.
They're both rolling around there a little bit.
Assumption Davenport.
Davis to his feet.
Rolling Story.
Oh, he's going to cast over the hips and working for a reversal, and he's going to get a reversal. Landon Davis with the 4-0 lead midway through the second period here on mat 6, Eddyville, Blakesville.
On mat 3, we are still trying to get this through. It looks like it's Lincoln Keeler out of Creston that's taking the injury right now over during Caden Dietzenbach's match with him. So hopefully it's nothing serious. It looks like they called the match. I don't see Ditzenbach anywhere, so this is not good, man. I don't think.
Yeah, you just
hope for the best.
Try not to speculate too much, and you just hope for the best. And it's a tough sport, right? It's maybe a little extreme, but these kids are putting their life on the line essentially when they're out there.
In some retrospects, it very much is.
Down on mat 2. Bloom wasting no time. He's got a cradle locked up. He's going to get back points. So quick takedown, cross face cradle, and 3 near fall for Cade Bloom. 36-0, the senior from Roland Story.
Steel Dirks had that really good first round match. So to draw into that, it's a pretty tough draw.
It looks like on mat 3, the Creston young man, Lincoln Keeler, is up on his feet now, so you love to see that. Maybe just bonked his head good and got, a little bit knocked out, or sometimes you get those stingers and it's real scary if you've never felt that before. He's kind of moving his shoulder around. They're doing what looks like maybe some concussion tests.
Yep. Got to make sure.
Make sure he's got all his motor movements, but he's on his feet. So you love to see that. He's talking with the medical staff and his coaches. Looks like he's going to be okay. Back to mat 6, Landon Davis out of Eddyville, Blakesburg. He's got a commanding 9-0 lead. Check that, 11-0, and he's working for more back points on the edge of the mat.
Mat 7, 126. Jacob Meckley, North Polk, Carson Doolittle, Webster City.
And down on mat 2, Bloom with another takedown, and he's going to let Steel Dirks from Assumption Davenport go. So he's up 7-1. Good level changes there for Bloom. Keeping his hands low. Good sprawl and re-attack for Bloom.
No, that's Dirksen on that re-attack there.
Check that.
Needs to do a
good call, Worm.
Needs to circle
similar singlets. I got to start looking at the ankle bands. So Steel Dirks in on a shot, in on a deep high crotch. Bloom sitting to his butt.
Forcing a stalemate there.
Forced a stalemate.
It looks like that match on mat 3, they're calling it. He's out, or obviously, safety comes first. So Caden Deitzen comes back with a tech fall. 16-1 there, being the top seed at 132 pounds.
132, Logan McDonald, Grinnell, Mason Avila, Decorah. At 8, 132, McDonald, Avila.
Avila coming in last year, he had the upset of the tournament. I think last year when he beat Kitzenbach, in the quarter or in the round of 16, I believe, first round. Really, it set everything nice up for him. So he's one of those guys. I think he's as tough as they come too. He's up 2-0 right now here, right in the first period.
Down on mat 7, Carson Doolittle out of Webster City, the undefeated senior, wastes no time. 2 quick takedowns and then a pin, and he moves on to the round of 8.
138, Hanford Miller.
Another tough kid we've heard about for a while. Carson Doolittle. His brother is currently wrestling at Drake University, or Duke University, not Drake. My bad. Drake don't have a program no more.
Not yet. It'd be nice to kind of see him bring it back, though.
Oh, wouldn't it, though? Another D1 program in the state would be great.
We'd love that.
Got the first Darth Vader mask of the tournament down here on mat 6.
I was always scared to wrestle the kids with the face masks.
I just always hated them just because it's like, it's not even, all of a sudden you become claustrophobic, which is something really weird to think about, but all of a sudden it's just like, and not to mention especially when you got one that the coach is taped up 10,000 times, it's just crawling with skin disease probably in that sucker. It's like, oh, I got to wear this. This is great. I'd rather risk just breaking my nose again.
The Bane mask. Mask looks like it's not preventing him from scoring, though. He's off to a 2-0, and he's going to go straight back to his feet.
That's Cameron Kramer that's Adam Boone out of Washington.
Aaron Boone of Washington, 42-1, junior. A nice near arm far leg for Boone. He's going to score another takedown, and he's going to go right into a 2-on-1 tilt. He's got to elevate his legs. He's getting back points. Good little scramble there. Didn't end up getting back points. Didn't quite get the 2 count down on mat 6. Aaron Boone versus Cameron Kimmer.
Cade Bloom coming off 11-2 win there.
The senior, 37-0 now, moving on to the round of 8.
So we've got a fall possibly cooking here on mat 5.
Right on the edge of the mat, too.
Caden Parker out of Oskaloosa has got that in tight.
You got to wrestle on every inch of the mat.
Aiden Hippen out of Clear Lake. And there's the fall. And Hippen was up Hippen was up 5-4 there with 30 seconds left. And you can tell he's distraught about that, let that one slip away.
The Oskaloosa sophomore, Caden Parker, pulling off the upset with a pin on the edge of the mat.
Over on mat 8, though. Mat 8 getting a little bit closer here. 4-4. Logan McDonald from Grinnell and Mason Avila. It's tied up here in the second period. Looking for some back points. One swipe. One. Nothing yet. One. Nothing yet.
3-1 swipes.
He's still got him sitting in his lap. Nice. Could be looking for.
He's got a good crossbody ride going. Switches off.
Carter Sixthamo, Charles City. At 5, 132, Keller Sixthamo.
That's McDonald and Avila down on mat 8. We're tied 4-4. Short time left in the second period.
I tell you what, another kid that we got to talk about out of Webster City, that Pepsibong. Tough kid, tough name to pronounce, man. I mean,
one of the tougher names to pronounce.
He's as tough as they come.
Briggs Collins, Van B.
Him and his brother both have had some strong success down the state tournament. And again, there's more letters in that name than that need be.
Mat 4, 144.
Looks like over on mat 7, Shane Hanford's got Jax Miller on his back out of West Delaware.
144.
Gets himself 3 near falls there to end.
Yeah, and across the stadium on mat 2, Cale Cook and Blake Fox, the Osage Prep. Blake Fox,
top rank,
also has a cradle and has his opponent on his back. He's going to get 3 near fall.
Cale Cook's no slouch either, 39-6 record as a sophomore. Blake Fox, another one of those kids that's starting to really put it together. Brother of Nick Fox, who's currently wrestling at UNI. Just graduated last year, Fargo champ in Greco. Osage is rocking like 12 different singlets down here, man.
So start of the second period, Fox with the lead, 5-0. He'll start on top.
144-pounders, Andrews Kittleson, Osage, Brady Patterson, Benton Community. Kittleson, Osage, Patterson, Benton Community, now wrestling mat number 1 at 144.
Fox up 5-0 here in the second period.
Down on mat 6, Aaron Boone out of Washington, the junior, 42-1. He's got a commanding lead over Cameron Kemmer now.
On mat 1, Anders Kittleson going big old.
Ooh, and they got to stop that. Oh.
Yeah,
potentially dangerous on mat 6.
Hate to see that going.
A little bit of a precarious situation.
Those knees can only go so far.
So we'll get a fresh start here. 2 seconds left in the second period on mat 6. Boone with a commanding lead going into the third period, 11-3. Over on mat 5, Colton Keller, the senior out of Sadell. I believe Sadell's only qualifier.
Blake Fox with the fall there on 2. Top seeded out of Osage. And he's only a sophomore too, 46-1.
Keller from Sadell with the lead 4-3 over Hamill of Charles City, the freshman. Anyone's match here midway through the second period.
Anders Kittleson, real nice fireman's carry there. Looking for near falls possibly. He's committed to go to Air Force next year. So anything, we thank him for his future services for our country.
The senior, 41-0, having a great season.
Another double leg there, looking for near falls.
Now event number 2 at 144, Austin Evans.
He's got that bottom leg turked, looking to go all the way to that far shoulder across his neck and gain back points. Runs out of time there in the second period. Check that first period. So Kittleson with the 10-3 lead going into the second. They're going to go neutral. Then he wastes no time. Hard snaps. Pass by attempt by Patterson. Both guys creating good action.
I mean, Anders Kittleson has been one of those Seabolt kids from day one. You know, you can tell by his style how he wrestles. You know, like I said, he's been around the block a few times. Coming up on mat 3, we got Caden Kramer out of Independence. We got Kyler Sandholm. Sandholm had that banger of a first-round match against Decorah, and you know, don't count him out of anything out of this tournament. Switches up singlets. Now he's in the all-orange singlet with the paw on the back. First round they had the black one.
Nothing like putting a fresh singlet on in between rounds.
Isn't it though? Oh, Kramer going right away, going kind of a weird scramble there, and all of a sudden ends up in a body lock. 7 seconds left here on mat 6. Aaron Boone going to pull a 14-3 off Cam Kramer.
Yeah, and mat 3 looks like he's going cradle, suicide cradle, rolling over his own back, and he's going to get back points against Red Oak.
One of those moves that you don't really want to show your kids ever in practice, and just because it can backfire in a heartbeat.
And when it works, it looks good.
When it works, it looks great. When it doesn't, it looks silly. Here we go, coming up on mat 6, we got 7th seed Jaron Gilly. Jaron took 4th last year at 126 pounds. He'll be facing Reagan Hashi out of Central Lyon, George Little Rock. He's 31-6.
And Kramer out of Independence making the minor adjustments with that near side cradle. Crossface cradle, check that. He's got all the time in the world here to get the fall. Sandholm out of Red Oak doing all he can to break the lock and stay off his back, and he's going to do just that. But not before 3 near fall points are earned for Caden Kramer out of Independence.
Out here on mat 8, one of our matches to watch, we got number 7 Jordan Schmidt out of Solon.
Now wrestling on mat number 5.
And we got Cale Nelson out of Carroll. They're over on mat 8. Schmidt's up 2-1. Schmidt placed 7th last year, 132. He's had a great junior season, but he has taken the majority of his losses here in the last month. Nelson was a state qualifier last year at 126, but has proven that the weight jump has not been a problem all year. So these guys are about to get after it, and they already have 2-1. Down here on 7, we got Mount Vernon and the Anamosa matchup. That's a rematch from districts Saturday. Jackson Jasper, returning state finalist last year, 126 pounds as a freshman. Or, no, I'm sorry, that's his older brother. Wait. Yeah. Jackson Jasper took third last year. Jace Jasper last year took second.
Jackson and Jace.
Yeah.
Easily confused.
Gilly looking for his carry. He's got this really fun carry where it looks like he's going double, and then midway through it, he transitions to a carry.
Kramer of Independence getting more back points, going back to that cross-face cradle. Just can't quite get him flat over there on mat 3. He's had him on his back for the majority of this match. Kudos to Sandholm for fighting hard off his back.
20 seconds left here on mat 6, still scoreless. Jasper with a pin on 5.
And down here on mat 2, we've got Austin Evans of Creston with the 2-0 lead over Tucker Wheeler of PCM. Evans starts down in the second period. To his feet, big return for PCM, driving him all the way down to the mat.
On mat 1, Hudson Scranton out of Anamosa versus Jack Skelton. Hudson Scranton I got to know him a little bit this past year. He came into our club, and he's solid, man. Like he can go with just about anyone you put in front of him. So him and his cousin or his brother or cousin, yes, Anamosa, man, relatives everywhere. Austin Scranton, top ranked at 175 pounds. He's going to be coming out here soon.
Nice dresser dump there.
Going dresser dump and he's catching headlock here.
That was good action.
Great action.
He faked to the left on his feet and then went
there's
dresser
the
dump.
fall.
He's going to get a pin.
Again, one of those kids that, I think he's been kind of been quietly just chucking along all season, and I think
methodical.
Yep, and I think he's going to have himself a tournament here.
Over on 5, we got Mount Vernon, Mikey Ryan versus Jax Jensen in Winterset. 2 sophomores going head-to-head.
Now wrestling on mat number 1 at 150.
It's Mikey Ryan, though, with the 2-0 lead midway through the first period.
Over on 6, Hashi is up 1-0 on Gilly out of Waller. Got another comment here on mat 1.
Cole Halupnik, the senior, he had that first round pin, so he should be feeling fresh. He's up against Ballard Huxley opponent, Tucker Vitham, the junior. These two probably have seen each other a time or two this year. All that's out the door, though, once you get down to the well. And Vitham with the early takedown here in the first period over Halupnik on the edge of the mat. Good little scramble, and finishes a right side single right on the edge. He's up 2-0. They'll get a new start here.
About a minute left here in the second period for Gilly of Waller and Hashi of Central Lyon.
And over there on 5, Mikey Ryan, the sophomore out of Mount Vernon, with a solid lead, 7-0 on Jensen of Winterset.
Brother, I got to ask you a question, man. How many Ryans are there? I mean, did you have one in your probably somewhere in your weight classes? I mean, there was Trey Boy Ryan, Jake Ryan was my age.
Connor Ryan.
No, that's out of Bettendorf, different Ryan. But Mount Vernon, it always seems like every about 2-3 years another Ryan comes in, and this one's doing just as good as the rest of them.
Strong wrestling family. You love to see that.
Gillian taking another shot here. 30 seconds left. Coming up with a 2-on-1. Circle, going outside. Wow, Hatchie answers back that outside single and just bull rushes him right out of bounds.
Jackson Kinnitz, Bishop Heelan Catholic, Cade Bauer, Sioux Center. Kinnitz, Bishop Heelan Catholic.
That was coming in full force there, man. He came charging in. A little blood time here. Might need to catch his breath, too. I mean, the way that Hashy came chasing after him, man, just smoked him right upside the neck. Over on mat 5, Mikey Ryan again.
Putting it on him.
A sophomore, 40-2.
Nice whip by. Throw by.
So again, I don't think you gotta keep Mount Vernon in this conversation. Got a takedown here on 1. Holupnik answering back 4-2.
Down on mat 4. Breingar, a PCM, and Boyles out of the Burlington Notre Dame. Little blood time there, and they're back to center. Boyles with the 2-0 lead. Starting the second period. His teammate next to him, Tucker Wheeler and Austin Evans on mat 2. Evans out of Creston. Wheeler, Prairie City Monroe, with just a slight lead, 6-5 here in the third period. Putting a tough ride on the Creston prep. He's got his legs split. He's on his toes, driving into him. Mat 1, another shot attempt from Ballard's Vissam. He's in deep on a single leg. Holupnik's got to try to fight his leg down. Vissam runs the pipe, though. He's going to score on the single leg. He's up 7-2 now after the escape.
Down on 6, tied up 1-1 here, minute 17 left. Both guys just taking shots here. So anything's going here. Holupnik giving up takedown here. Making the score 7-2.
So Tucker Vissam out of Ballard Huxley with the commanding lead, 7-2. Those two schools only about 10 miles apart. There is a little rivalry there. Granted, Ballard traditionally has always been, you know, these last 10 or 15, 20 years, they've been a tough program to be a rival of. I know they had a close, I think it was just a 1-point duel this year between North Polk and Ballard. Those two came out of the same district. This is probably a rematch of districts a week ago.
Which is wild to think. We're going to talk, you know, we're going to be talking for the next 4 days, but when you come down here, I always feel like each day turns into a week. It's like, it's hard to believe on Saturday you're sitting here finishing up the tournament, you think to yourself like, man, last week was districts. And like, but it feels like a month ago. There's no, like, time stands still here.
Yeah, or time flies when you're having fun, right?
Or that too. It's just wild to think, like, all of a sudden, like, you know, you go from Saturday, all of a sudden, boom, show up on Wednesday.
We're at the big dance.
Yep. Got blood time here on mat 6 still. 43 seconds, tied 1-1.
Vissam with another takedown. Ballard Huxley. He's going to have a 9-2 lead over Holupnik from North Polk.
Let's see. Got blood time here on mat 5 as well. But Mikey Ryan's got a commanding 14-2 lead. 34 seconds left here in the mat 6 we've been covering. Gilly, the 7th seed, 4th place, finished 4th last year at the state tournament. Rashi as a junior, 31-6. So again, no slouch kid here.
And down on mat 2, Lucas Crawl, Garner Hayfield Ventura. He's got a 2-0 lead in the first period over Eagle Grove's Hayden Schaefer, the sophomore. And he's putting a tough ride on right now. So that's Lucas Crawl, the junior. As we start the second period, Crawl's going to get his choice. He's going to start on bottom with the 2-0 lead. At 150 pounds here, round of 16.
We are in overtime here on 6.
Overtime on 6, anyone's match. Who wants it? Who's going to go get it?
Both guys been faking shots all day. You know, some are taking shots from kind of out in left field. Hatchie's the first one to answer. Outside single.
The junior Central
There's
Lion,
two.
George Little Rock. He's going to get 2 points right on the edge, and he's
Big.
fired up.
Yep, that's an upset, first round upset there. Gilly needs to find a way to bounce back here.
Hope is crushed and dreams are made down here at the state tournament. You hate to see that.
Birthdays and funerals, man. Especially you walk in that back tunnel. You know, you can see one kid is happy. It's his happiest day of his life, and you look about 5 feet next to him. There's a kid who's experiencing up until this point the worst day of his life. But like I always say to my wrestlers, you know what? Or I used to say to my wrestlers, if losing to the state tournament's the worst day of your life so far, guess what, brother? You've had a pretty good life so far.
That's right. And for a lot of these guys, you know, they can't see past this tournament. It's the biggest thing. It's been circled on their calendar for months, if not years. But yeah, life goes on. And
but some people, I mean, you see some people, man, like they could be in their 30s and 40s and still haven't let it go yet.
PTSD from the state tournament.
Here on mat 6, we got Royce Butta, Central DeWitt. This kid is a gas tank, man. He just is machine gunning so many aspects of wrestling. Kind of reminds me of like an Austin DeSanto based wrestler where he just goes and goes and goes.
There you go.
Gets real scrappy on the hand fights.
Fun to watch. Mat 3. Jackson Kinnitz, the junior, with the fall over Cade Bauer of Sioux Center. He's fired up.
But they're right away with a takedown.
And over on mat 1, Sir Brandon Watts, Bishop Healing Catholic. He wastes no time getting the takedown, near fall, and then the pin over Milo Staver of Creston.
But here working for some back points here. Coming up here, it's like over on mat 8. Got Matt Gass out of Osage up 2-1 on Kristen Dunning.
Yeah, mat 3 here, another undefeated Osage wrestler, senior 50-0, Tucker Stengel. He's wasting no time. He's got a tight butcher on Blake Mather of West Delaware, the sophomore. Sophomore's got his word cut out for him there on mat 3. And there it is, Tucker Stengel with the first period fall for Osage. And he's going to move on to the round of 8. Over on mat 1, Maxwell Mental, the senior, 20-3 record. He'll go against Hampton Dumont's Taylor Mahler. Maxwell Mental with the takedown on the edge for Grinnell. He'll lead 2-0. They'll get a fresh start. Down in front of us here on mat 4, Caleb Olson, Union of Port City, the senior. Just one loss on the year. He's got a 2-0 lead over Niles Sin of Williamsburg, the junior.
But here on another takedown coming up. Big finish there.
Royce Butts, Central DeWitt, 4-0 lead now over Carter Forkets of Albia.
Now wrestling on mat number 7 at 157. Owen Plucky, Carroll, Blake
Minute
Wilson,
left here, up 4-0.
Notre Dame. Plucky of Carroll, Wilson of Burlington, Notre Dame. Now
Over on mat 5, Gavin Schuerman with the 9-1 lead over Brody Hansen of Decorah. Schuerman out of Greene County, Jefferson. And there's a minute 30 in the third period on that match.
6-3 for Gast here from Osage over Christian Dunning in Clear Lake. Meanwhile, we got Elston Linder out of DeWitt and Caleb Seba still scoreless here after minute 30 here in the first period. Butt's doing a really good job here, controlling tie, controlling top. Just for the guys out here listening, you know, I know we're gonna be busy watching wrestling the next couple days, but you know, today's a special day for Valentine's Day. Make sure you get out and, you know, tell your significant other, hey, you appreciate them, especially in the, you know, being obsessed fans like we are. You know, wrestling takes a front seat to a lot of things, so we gotta thank our significant others for everything that they do for us to let us enjoy this great sport. So get some extra bonus points in today. You know, maybe send some flowers, do something nice today. Because if you do that, then you probably watch wrestling the whole rest of the week and no one's going to say anything.
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
Truer words haven't been spoken. Can't say I'm speaking from experience, but I got a lot of buddies that are married now. Tends to be the trend.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to do the little things.
In wrestling and in love.
As I'm checking the comments to make sure my wife is not calling me out on this. But sitting through, looking possibly cause some scrambling here. Nothing yet. Third period, Butt's up 4-0.
It's a competitive match so far.
On its feet, Butt's been, you know, in on a couple different shots, but really, Albia is doing a really good job in the top game.
And down on 8, Osage with another wrestler here in the round of 16. He's got a lead 10-5 over Clear Lake's Christian Dunning.
Up on mat number 3 at 175.
Over on mat 3, based on the records, looks like a pretty even matchup between sophomore Kaysen Doppler out of Columbus and junior Kenny Kerr out of North Fayette.
Looks like over here on 3, we got Kaysen Doppler out of Columbus Junction and Kenny Kerr out of North Fayette Valley. Still scoreless here in the first. Over on 1. Actually, looks like over here on 7. Blake Wilson getting the big cradle here out of Burlington, Notre Dame.
Yeah, and like you said on 1, Grinnell, Maxwell Mental was winning that match. And in the third period, Taylor Maher out of Hampton Dumont gets the pin and the big win. He's moving on.
Those are those big matches, man. Those are those big matches that you're talking about. You know, or those big moves that are going to help you win big matches. Still here on 8. Gas up 10-5 here as we're closing out here the third. But Dunning out of Clear Lake, he's still pushing the pace. He ain't ready to go down quite yet. He is in his face, pushing pace, making sure, you know, if not for nothing, Just try to make it a stalk off, maybe force something going here.
Now wrestling on mat number 5 at 165, Lance Hill, Elvia, Rock Mulder, Boynton Hall, Rock Valley. Helm, Elvia, Mulder, Boynton Hall, Rock Valley. Now wrestling on mat 5 at 165.
All right, closing up here in the on mat 6. Royce Butt still up 6-0. 30 seconds left. Goes behind, gets another takedown here, gets the major. 30 seconds left here. Tell you, this kid's got a gas tank, man.
Yeah, and good fundamentals, it looks like. There's
Yeah.
good sprawl, good snap, and go behind.
Still wrestling tough.
Sergeant Bluff Luton up on mat number 4 at 157.
Over here on 7. Wilson now up 7-4. Big return. Real
There's
fun.
that Burlington Notre Dame, like you said.
They're coming banging. All right, finishing off here on mat 7. Third period, 40 seconds left. Blake Wilson up 7-4 still, doing just a workman-like job on top. Really just, breaking hips, riding real tough, still looking for falls, going butcher possibly. Meanwhile, having a day here on top. Down on mat 6, we got Kason Miller out of Fairfield and Tyven Zenzel at Algona. Kason Miller, a 14-1 junior. Taylor Zenzel, 36-5 sophomore. They're just locking horns here real quick.
Over on mat 1, Xavier Ellington, Sergeant Bluffs Luton. He's 33-3, a junior. He's off to a 3-0 lead over Kellen Scott, the senior from Glenwood. We've got Tate Slagle from Algona with the commanding lead, 15-4 over Riker Dengler, West Liberty on mat 2. North Fayette's Kenny Kerr, the junior, with 6-0 lead on mat 3 over Kason Doppler. We've got a close match on mat 4. Bo Kodum from Sergeant Bluffs with a 4-1 lead, but he's getting back points right now, and it looks like he's going to get the pin. Bo Kodum from Sergeant Bluffs Luton with the first period fall over Aiden Graves of Tipton. He's going to move on to the round of 8.
Here we go on 7. We got Aiden Antonelli and Brody Hendricks. Antonelli had that big first round. Brody Hendricks, freshman, undefeated, ranked number 1 all year, coming in as the 4 seed, I believe. Kind of how the situation goes. If you're an undefeated freshman, top ranked freshman, one of the big criteria in the season, returning state qualifier. So you get that 4 seed just because you're not a returning state qualifier. Kind of a flawed system there, I think, but at the same time, that's just one of those things that happen. We're moving to 165 pounds here. Down here on mat 8, Brendan Hayne out of Benton Community up 10-0. He's been ranked 2nd all year. Just took his first loss of the season at districts. So, I think he's fired up here, ready to wrestle. Down on 6 still with Miller, it is Cassie Miller and Taven Zenzel. It's still 0-0. And then also on mat 4, we got Austin Scranton, top-ranked 175-pounder out of Anamosa. This kid's fun to watch, man. He is He's gritty as all get out.
Didn't like being in that double over there.
Not
he
at
got
all.
out of that quick.
Which is kind of wild because the couple times that I've seen him wrestle in our room for club, he's not afraid of who he's wrestling. If they want to go up top, he's not afraid to do it.
That's Austin Scranton, the junior, out of Anamosa. Logan Allender, the senior, from Cherokee, Washington, on mat 4. 0-0, 30 seconds in, first period. Right next to him on mat 6, we've got Zinnel and Miller locked at 0. But a chance for a takedown here. Second period, they started top and bottom. Good mat return. Good mat return for Zinnel out of Algona. And Miller, the junior, getting pushed out of bounds. They'll get a fresh start at 157 pounds here. Mat 7, we've got Humboldt's Brody Hendricks, the freshman, 43-2 record versus Aiden Antonelli, the sophomore out of Anamosa. Hendricks with the 6-2 lead, starting the second period. Antonelli will start on top.
Antonelli, big switch. But nothing there. Gives up the one, or there's one. But he did a really good job. The hips. Brody Hendricks, though, answered right back. Brody Hendricks, also a tough freshman. Had a really good showing at Fargo as an 8th grader coming in as a freshman. I mean, he's one of those guys that isn't here to play.
Down on mat 8, Kieran Polking, the sophomore out of Carroll. Locked 0-0, start of the first period versus Ryland DeGroot, a Western Christian.
Scranton looking tough on top, has a leg in, looking for Turks. 8 seconds left here in the first. Just being a hammer on top. Antonelli in on a nice shot, coming up body lock. Oh!
Whoa, big lat drop on the edge.
Brody going big. Doesn't get anything out of it, but man, he was going to the well on that one.
It's fun to watch. That's what it's all about. Let it fly, man. There's nothing to hold back now.
Yeah, I've said it on my podcast a few times. You're not going to get a pat on the back for walking off the mat losing by 1. So you might as well go out on your shield, man.
So going into the third period here, we're deadlocked at 0 on mat 6. Taven Zinnel, Algona, Kason Miller, Fairfield, 0-0.
While we got you guys here, we got to thank our great sponsor, Quint Cities Restoration out of the Quad Cities. Make sure that you guys follow them on social media. Make sure that you need any sort of restoration work done, reach out to them. They are a great sponsor of this. They are helping us provide you with live audio playback the entire tournament. So we can't thank them enough.
Quint Cities Restoration, thank you.
Scranton here trying to hold on. There's a weird position going on here, but comes out on top, gets the 2. 6-3 here with Aiden Antonelli.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a good match over there on 7. These guys are letting it fly. Both of them have attempted lat drops and headlocks. They're flying all over the mat. It's a close match here going into the third period. You know there's going to be fireworks. And down on mat 6, Zinnel with a reversal over Kason Miller of Fairfield. He's got a 2-0 lead. And after riding that whole second period, you wonder what Miller's got in his bag of tricks to get out on bottom, get an escape, and get a takedown here. Down 2-0 with a minute left in the third period.
Oh, big reversal here.
And looking Merkel, maybe?
Maybe, but it looks like Scranton's going to slip through. Catches a half, too. That's just good wrestling there, man. Now Scranton's looking for backs. It looks like a solid half. He's going to set in, and there's the fall for Austin Scranton.
He wasted no time there. He didn't let him breathe. He got his reversal back and went straight to that half.
That's taking advantage of a situation and just running with it. Big mat return there. We could hear from up here on mat 6. That thing was loud. Scored 2-1 here on 6.
So Kaysen Miller gets the stall call. Excuse me, Zenel gets the stall call against him. But now Miller's awarded a stall call.
Antonelli's still down 9-4, but at the same time, man, especially after that big throw, he's still not afraid to play upper bodies with Brody Hendricks.
Now wrestling on mat number 1 at 190, Carson Bertrand.
Over on mat 3, we got undefeated senior Daniel Gorshik out of Knoxville, wrestling Cohen Torres, the senior out of North Polk. Gorshkis with the 4-2 lead in the second period.
Here on mat 6, we got Colin Young out of Wahlert, and we got Wade Boehner out of looks like Creston. Tell you what, man, Colin Young, showed up started wrestling second semester this year. He showed up at districts and took the number 2 ranked kid, beat him 9-4, 4 takedowns and an escape. I mean, he's the real deal, man. He's something special. I think, especially coming in this late in this year. He's a senior, undefeated. Going right away, big carry, near falls.
Beautiful carry.
That was textbook right there. Gets his 5. Goes big bar. Looks like grabbing wrist. Big step over half with more back points. Has all the near points or near fall points there. Jumps up 8-0 in the first 30 seconds. Again, running the bar again, real tough bar. 8-1. Doesn't get out of his stance, just stalks him down.
Good job out of Bollinger for turning into that pressure, though, and getting his hips free.
Gets met with another carry there, but answers back, comes through the back door.
And another takedown. So Colin Young, the senior, 10-1. Not even a minute into the first period.
Now wrestling on mat number 7 at 190.
Goes another big sit, another back points.
Another outside carry right to his back. Looks like he's practiced that a time or two.
Yeah, that's definitely a big, you can tell that he's drilled that a time or two. Up 13-1 here in the second period, or in the first period. Benton with a big pin over here on mat 1.
And over on mat 3.
Troy Kupka.
Torres trying to come out the back door. He's down 4-3. Kind of an awkward situation there. Short time in the second period.
He's going again, big.
Wow.
He is going outside carry with just the arm. Didn't even touch the legs. Gets the tech fall here. Big points there for
Wahlert.
Colin Young. I think he's going to be one of these guys, I think, unbiased as I can be, but I can see him wrestling Saturday night.
Yeah. He looked good there.
Henry Christensen, Ballard. Willems, Larry Goldfield Dowes. Christensen of Ballard. Now wrestling on mat number 1 at 215. Now wrestling on mat number 8 at 190.
And over on mat 3, Gorsick of Knoxville choosing down. Torres on top. Torres with a tight 2-on-1. He needs back points here. He's got to cut him and take him down. Down 4-3. The North Polk senior.
Minute 20 left here. He's got to go big return.
Good mat return.
Soften him up. Hopefully we can get some work here on top. Might go big neck wrench. Gave up the neck wrench there. Gave up 2.
and maybe a little soon in the match to do that. Everything was working for him on top. Didn't need to go neck wrench there. Would have liked to see maybe a near side cradle or break him down and get back to your 2-on-1, but that's how it goes sometimes, right? Live and die by the sword. And Daniel Gorish, Knoxville, wastes no time with the reversal. He's got both the boots in, and he's power half in here. As they go out of bounds, they'll get a fresh start. 40 seconds to go in the third period. Knoxville leading 6-3 over North Polk's Cohen Torres. Torres' teammate down on mat 6, Ben Bryant, out of North Polk. This kid wrestled as a freshman, sophomore, took junior year off, and won a national championship in powerlifting. Deadlifting 500 plus as a junior in high school.
On mat 6 here, and he's doing the same thing. We got big points over here on 3 for North Polk. Answering back. He gets the 3 near fall. Is that enough to do it?
Wow.
2, 7, 6, 7, 8. With the escape.
Wow.
Going into overtime here. Holy smokes, man.
That changed fast. You look away for 1 second. So we had a reversal and back points for Torres. That made it 7-8, and then he gets an escape. 8-8's the score, and we got overtime.
They blew the whistle, but the clock wasn't ready yet. So kind of gets a little saved by the bell there.
The undefeated senior putting his record on the line from Knoxville, Daniel Gorish.
Going in, big shot. Big jacks up the overhook here. Torres does.
Going whip over.
Trying to whip. Hard snap, go behind. Out of bounds. Sorry, I'm getting a little loud here. This match is getting fun, boys.
Yeah, no, this is exciting. This is exactly what you want. 2 seniors going at it.
Yeah, another shot. Another big whip over. Who's going to get it here?
Wow.
Big hips.
Wow.
Oh. Tell you what, man, there's nothing to be ashamed of there. I mean,
good match, both men.
That was fun to watch.
That was fun to watch. Now he's got a teammate here on 6 that he's got to get up for. Bryant and Quentin Polking out of Carroll. Ben Bryant, senior from North Polk, national powerlifting champion, and this year he's going to wrestle. Good action from both guys.
Fairfield, Johnson, Roland Story, wrestling on mat number 3 at 175.
I do believe that after this session, or after the heavyweights go on this one, it's done. There is no backside consolation in the first round. They go to tomorrow and wrestle. Because I was just thinking, I'm looking at the time and I'm sitting there, I was like, there's no way. But then all of a sudden it occurred to me that they do wrestle, they'll be wrestling tomorrow regardless. So it does kind of make, I mean.
And is this the first year it's been a 4-year state tournament?
4-day? No, last year it was. I forgot. It just occurred to me because they did it last year too, and I thought the same thing. But I kind of like that idea. I mean, it's better than, some teams having to drive down here in the morning and turn around and drive back. You don't really get the full state experience regardless.
Right. Keep them overnight. And it's good for these wrestlers too. They can kind of clear their mind a little bit after a loss maybe or a heartbreak and come back that next morning. Clear mind, ready to do what they can do.
Just some solid, great wrestling so far, man. I tell you what, we're only 3 hours into this sucker, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We still got about 6 hours left to call in tonight, maybe more. But hey, we love tough wrestling. We love tough commentary.
We're here for it. You got to love it. And again, thanks to IA Wrestle for the opportunity and everything they do for the sport and the state. All age levels.
Here we go. Looking like over here on 6
Now
still.
wrestling on mat number 2 at 190. Jason Curran. Mount
Ben
Vernon,
Bryant still up
Brody
3-0.
Sampson,
You're right. He looks like he's just a big old strong board, just lifting guys up like it's a deadlift.
Yeah, I want to say he was deadlifting 525 as a 190-pound kid. He was top in the nation last year, and they finally got him back out for wrestling, and it looks like the deadlifts are paying dividends here in the round of 16.
You can tell his form too. He squats real low, like he's literally squatting.
His thighs are about as big as my chest. Power.
Over on mat 2, we got Casey Kieran out of Mount Vernon, Brody Sampson out of Ballard. Sampson up 2-1 here in the first. Sampson answering back another shot there. There's 2-1 or 4-1 here on the score.
And over on mat 7, well, it looks like that mat just ended. I don't have the score in front of me anymore. Scratch that.
Now wrestling on mat number 7 at 285.
Mat 1, Christensen out of Ballard, the junior, 37-2 with the 4-2 lead over Wilms, Clarion Goldfield. And just as I say that, Christensen with the big takedown, they roll around, no points awarded. There is reaction time in high school. In college, that might have been 3. High school, we're still neutral. As Christensen circles in, Ballard Huxley.
Looks like we're starting moving to the 215s. I'm starting to see brackets here that are starting to dwindle down, down to 1 match on deck.
Down here on mat 4 right in front of us, Reese Rogge, the senior out of North Polk, with a takedown. 40 seconds left in the first period. And his teammate right next to him on mat 6, Ben Bryant, he's going to get the 3-0 victory. He's moving on to the round of 8 over Carroll's Quentin Polking.
Another 2 there on mat 3 for Heston Johnson out of Rolling Story. 8-2. 30 seconds left here in the second.
Fuller, Preston, Bridgewater, South Tama County. Now wrestling on mat number 6 at 215.
Down on 6, we got Gavin Bridgewater, who has been perennial placer here in the last couple years.
And Creston, always traditionally strong program, Southern Iowa school. I know when I was in school, they always had powerhouse programs.
Looks like a 12-2 lead here on mat 2 for Brody Sampson out of Ballard. On mat 5, looks like Parker Moritz is coming out with a 2-1 win. Gotta love a gritty win like that.
So down on mat 1 and mat 2, both the Ballard preps, Christensen and Sampson. Christensen with just a 4-3 lead in the third period. Brody Sampson with a 12-2 lead over Kieran and Mount Vernon. Oh, but he rolls across his back, puts himself in danger. He's going to get reversed. Check that. Just an escape for Kieran out of Mount Vernon. Both back on their feet. And Christensen, Henry Christensen of Ballard with the 6-3 win over Clarion Goldfield's Willems. Rogge with a tough ride in the second period on mat 4. That's Reese Rogge from North Polk.
Jackson Van Kuren, Makokada. Downey of Clarinda, Van Kuren, Makokada. Now wrestling on mat number 1 at 215.
And back on mat 2, Brody Sampson, the senior out of Ballard. He's going to get the pin. 17 seconds to go in the second period. The Bomber moves on to the round of 8.
Down on 6, Bridgewater with a 4-1 lead.
Over Quentin Fuller of Creston, the senior.
Number 2 at 285, Mac Muller, Osage. Aaron Payton, Roland Story.
Bridgewater being the 2 seed, 41-1.
Now wrestling on mat number 2 at 285.
That South Tama County blue, the light blue singlets, easy to spot. Over on mat 2, Osage's Mac Moeller, the senior.
That's a big old boy, too.
Putting his undefeated record on the line against Aaron Payton of Roland Story, also a senior.
Reminder to our wrestling fans that
They go out of bounds. They about squished a couple camera people.
Camera people it's a dangerous hazard being that close to the mats, man.
Yeah, you don't realize what these cheerleaders and these media folks put on the line every round, sitting so close to the mat, especially with the big boys in front of them.
Big fall there on mat 5. Mason Kohler. Let's see here. Down on mat 1, one of our top 10 or one of our first round matches we want to talk about. We got Jackson, or sorry, wrong way. Stay with me here, folks. I'm rolling. Carson Downey at Clarinda and Jackson Van Kuren out of Makokata. You know, again, Van Kuren was state qualifier at 220 last year, and, you know, it's a bit unknown. He's proven it. He's had a great season. He's beaten a lot of top, you know, he's beaten a couple guys out of 1A multiple times. But at the same time, though, you know, Dowling is just, you know, he's state qualifier last year, but this weight pretty much can be anyone's showing.
Wide open.
So down here on 1, start of the second period, still scoreless. Van Kuren tough on top.
Yeah, and for being a 220-pounder last year, looks like he's grown right into this heavyweight weight class.
This is actually 215. He shaved down about 5 pounds. So anything, it might actually have benefited him. You know, he was probably sitting around 210 last year football. So now, you know, if he has to cut a little bit to make 215, then he's got some trunks on him for legs, though. I can tell you that. Look at the size differential here down on mat 5 at heavyweight. Like, Sioux Center's heavyweight looks like he's about $185 with rocks in his pockets. Up against Hampton Dumont's heavyweight, who looks like, you know, he might have had a missing meal last night. Big takedown there.
That's Carter Heislov out of Hampton Dumont with the takedown. On mat 3, Chris Rogge and Jaden Cooper going head-to-head. They get a fresh start and back to center. 0-0 in the first period for those two.
Now wrestling on mat number 2 at 285, Tucker Anderson, North Polk, Paul Ballard, Albia. Anderson of North Polk, Ballard of Albia, now wrestling on mat number 2 at 285.
And then on here, back here on mat 1, still 3-0 or 3-0 for Downing. Got an escape, got a takedown here. Coming up here as well, or down on 6, Gavin Bridgewater up 11-2.
Down on mat 2 here, Albia's undefeated senior Paul Ballard taking on North Polk senior Tucker Anderson. Albia's Paul Ballard wasting no time getting to a single leg, getting his head up into his chest and finishing right in the middle of the mat. And he's got a bar arm. He's driving the bar. He drives Anderson over. He's going to get a pin. Not 35 seconds into the first period, Paul Ballard of Albia.
They're well fed down. They're well fed down in Albia when they make heavyweights. They make some big boards down there.
Yes, sir.
Yep, so looks like matches are starting to come to an end. Brackets are starting to break down here.
Stands are clearing. People are heading to get their lunch and their beers, maybe. Is it too soon for beers?
Not down here, brother. As long as you're over the legal age of 21 in this great state of Iowa, it's totally fine.
Yes, sir.
Webster City.
So just finishing up here, Bridgewater 11-3. Coming up on 6, we got Michael Borman out of Waller, and we got Chapman out of Creston.
Michael Borman, Dubuque Waller.
Both big boys. Chapman is a 34-6, coming in as a 7 seed. That's a big fella right there too.
Down on mat 4, finishing up the 215 bracket for the day. Brody Van Riggenmorter versus Keegan Snyder. Riggenmorter out of Sioux Center. He's a senior, 30-1. Snyder, a senior from Perry, Iowa.
Down to the next 6, or down to the last 6 brackets we got coming up on Friday. They switched to the dog bone. Gotta love that.
Snyder of Perry with the lead, 2-1 over Riggenmorter.
On 7, Ethan Wood out of Mount Vernon, and Landon Griffin out of Webster City. Looks like all the weights, or there's still one match still in the hole, but after these matches, looks like we got Chapman. Chapman gets the fall, 26 seconds over Michael Borman of Waller. So Waller's got 1 still on the front side and 2 on the back to end of the day 1.
And Keegan Snyder out of Perry down here on mat 4 with another takedown over Van Riggenmorter of Sioux Center. He's extending his lead here right at the end of the first period, 4-1 with a takedown right at the end of the period. And that's one way to win matches, right, is to be the last guy to score or score at the end of the period. And he did just that. And he's putting on a tough ride.
Real tough ride here. minute 55 left here in the second.
Now wrestling on mat number 1 at 285, Russell Coyle, Columbus, WMU. Evan Sorensen, Atlantic. Coyle of Columbus, WMU. Sorensen of Atlantic, wrestling on mat number 1 at 285.
Van Riggenmorter to his feet here. He's going to get an escape. So the Sioux Center senior finds himself down 4-2 midway through the second period. Both guys forehead to forehead. Not a ton of action right now. 2-on-1 for Van Riggenmorter. He's going to shuck him down to the mat. He's kind of in a Merkel position there in a scramble. No 2 yet. Got to be careful of the knee. Van Riggenmorter is going to get the 2 takedown, though, in somewhat of a Merkel position after a 2-on-1 shuck down. That's going to tie things up 4-4. Just 1 minute left in the second period. Check that, about 30 seconds left in the second period. And we are notched at 4. Quick escape for Perry's senior Keegan Snyder. Snyder with the 5-4 lead. And again, scoring closer to the end of the period than his opponent. Unless Van Riggenmorter can answer with a takedown here. 30 seconds left in the third period.
On 1 here, Russell Coyle out of Columbus Junction and Evan Sorensen out of Atlantic.
Van Riggenmorter with a sprawl on the edge. Snyder driving him out of bounds. Both guys hands on the hips. Both guys looking a little tired. Short time in the second period here. Looks like it's going to come down to the third.
Big takedown there for Van Riggenmorter. No, not for Snyder. Looking for possible backs. Nothing there to close out the second.
Wow.
Second round competition
I've said it 3 times in this match, but that's how you win matches, scoring late, scoring at the end of periods, being the last guy to score. Good job out of Snyder. And he's going to go down to start the third period.
If you could please help the arena staff by picking up any trash in your area, that would really help us as we reset the arena before our 1:30 session featuring Class 3A.
Looking to score here on mat 3. Got a big head inside cradle.
Near side cradle. He's going to get 2 and maybe more.
Over
and over
Chris
on
Rogge
1.
over Central DeWitt.
Sorensen of Atlantic with the 4-0 lead now over Coyle of Columbus. Those two are in a bit of a scramble. They're hip to hip. Sorensen still has control.
They're going to give 2 to Coyle.
Merkel position again. Coyle's going to get the 2. You don't often see.
Whoa, and a big bar. He's going to go step through, big bar.
Wow, good flexibility out of the Atlantic junior.
Not to mention the ability to just throw a big old bar in like that at heavyweight. You don't see that too often, the way that he set that up. There's the fall for Coyle.
Russell Coyle, the senior, 46-1 now, moving on to the round of 8 with the pin in the second period over Evan Sorensen of Atlantic. Oh, how the turntables turn, Worm.
Oh, how the turntables.
And still a competitive match down here on 4, the 2 15-pounders. Van Riggenmorter in that Merkel position again. He's rolling over his back. He's got to get back points. But Snyder's going to score another takedown. Excuse me, that was a reversal. He
10-6 here.
10-6. About 30 seconds left in the match. Down on mat 8, Sam Christensen, Central Lyon, George Little Rock, the junior, knotted up 0-0 against Trent Cake Rice, the senior. And just as I say that, Cake Rice has Christensen on his back on the edge. He's got a headlock position down on mat 8. And it looks like Snyder's going to finish on top for Perry.
Right off in the sunset here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow morning. I believe there's the 2A session tomorrow again. Thank you again. I got my buddy Jimmy Schuessler joining me. Sit tight. We will be back at 1:30 for Class 3A. So grab yourself some lunch and we'll be right back.